I refuse to meet my father's new girlfriend because we just lost our mother.
You're going to move on way too fast. At least do it secretly.
Let the rest of the family take their time.
Yeah.
Ever since I, 23 female, lost my mom to cancer last year in September, everything has been so hard. To add to that, I found out that my father, 54 male, has been talking to / getting to know someone, 45 female, who I'm going to call M. By the way, this comes from Sleepy Eater 01, and if you want to submit your own stories, just go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. Come on over. So, my parents were married for almost 30 years, and as a normal couple, they had their issues, but they still stayed together. We are also religious, which is going to be important later. Despite the trauma and issues that I have had with them, I love them. I've always looked up to my mom, so losing her is one of the worst and most heartbreaking things that have ever happened to me. My father has been someone who would make sure that we were taken care of, and I would say we could feel his love and care. Thanks to my parents' upbringing, I would say it helped and showed us a lot later in our own lives. This began when at my mom's funeral, which was public for people who knew her. In our culture, you do not invite people, but you announce it, and whoever comes is welcome. M was introduced as my mom's old friend. At first, I did not question it, since it was quite usual for my mom to have friends living abroad. After that, I had my own suspicions about my father suddenly going to another country where M lives, and how his behavior was changing. It confirmed my suspicions, which my older brother and his wife also had. He brought her to my mom's ceremony at the temple. This is something you do on the 49th day. This is important in our religion. I was quite surprised, and I did not feel happy about seeing a stranger at a private family event. Funeral was okay since it was public, but this? Nope. Later that day, we asked him about her, and he told us that they had been talking ever since he saw her number pop up on one of the messaging apps that he uses, like WhatsApp, Viber, etc. And he told her about my mom being sick. He said that they had been only talking, and after her death, they started dating. He mentioned how they also talked about their future together since they both have younger kids. She has 2 kids, and on my side, I still have a younger brother, all from 13 to 18. And it needs to be discussed carefully because apparently they wanted to move in together to our country where my father lives. I was caught off guard since we had just lost our mom, and he was already thinking about dating someone. A person who was apparently my mom's old friend. It did not make any sense to me the way that he started talking to her, but what was hard to swallow was that it was when my mom was still alive.
Exactly.
There were speculations that he was cheating on her. He started saying how our mom said that she would be okay with him finding someone new. Yeah, but usually that's like... It's like a while after.
You wait until after the funeral.
Yeah. We do not have any issues with him being with someone new. However, we did not expect it this soon. A month and a few weeks after her passing. I found this quite ironic because our father told us we had to follow these rules during the mourning period. I was taught that you cannot attend any weddings or happy occasions for at least a year. So I suppose this does not apply to my father. I have heard about not marrying anyone for at least 3 years too, but times change.
I mean, to be fair, I think that's all relative based on your personal, like however you're feeling. Mm-hmm. I don't think that there need to be like hard, fast rules on any of this.
Right.
But man, it's tasteless to be emotionally cheating on your wife while she's passing away from cancer.
Yeah. Not everyone has to follow it, but my family is quite keen on it, and I also respect it. So I have declined a few invites, which my friends understood. He started accusing us of not wanting him to be happy and how we were forbidding him to date, etc., which caused me to argue with him. He even used our mom's name, which was quite infuriating since I have trauma that involves guilt tripping too. After that, I stopped talking to him and only talked to my sibling. Then another argument happened in December when we disagreed on not burying her ashes back in our homeland because we do not live there and have lived in another country, which is our home now for years now. All my mom's siblings and their families live here too. So why would we bury her so far away when she hated our homeland? Despite all of that, he still took her there and buried her there. Dang, that's rough. I was told that my opinion does not matter and that he is her husband, so he has the right to do it. But we do not. I accepted it since knowing my mom, she would not care. She was really religious, so for her, the body does not matter after passing. It was more about us being able to visit her more often since our homeland is far away. Eventually, I started talking to him again, but yeah, it's been low contact. I was told I should not act like this since he is my father, that everyone grieves differently, so I should not be judgmental. I thought about it, and I think my reactions were justified. This is more about the timing that he chose.
Yeah, agreed.
I agree too. I would say that if he chose to tell us way later or something and not at the private family event with everyone, including my mom's siblings, we would not have reacted so strongly. He started going to her country every weekend, at first with my little brother, who only knew her as an auntie, but not as a girlfriend or anything. But then he started leaving him home with our relatives or by himself. I was quite annoyed and did not understand why this was happening. My older brother and I work abroad, but I try to go home quite often. After all of this, I thought I had had enough to deal with. However, last week, I was told by my older brother that our father wants to marry her and move to her country along with my little brother.
God. Way too fast, buddy. What are we doing?
My gosh.
I mean, way too fast for it to have not been going on the entire time your wife was sick, which makes you disgusting.
Right. It's like it would be even too fast if you just met her naturally and you didn't have a previous marriage. That's just so fast.
Absurd.
I was once again caught off guard since last time it was her moving to his country, not him. I wasn't a big fan of it, but as long as my little brother could stay back home and just do his own thing without worries. Our father told him that he wants my little brother to repeat 1 year so he could learn the language. Mind you, he is in elementary school, and next year he has to start looking at high schools and then study for the exam. So learning a new language while repeating a year and then taking the exams in a language he does not know? I am not sure about this.
Hey, sink or swim, buddy.
And just push him into the deep end, why don't you? I'm not sure about this, and I want this to be discussed thoroughly and carefully. He is going through puberty, and at this age, you gotta pay more and more attention. I disagreed with this, and my little brother does not want to move abroad either. I feel like I cannot do anything at all. I cannot take him with me since I can only afford to fend for myself and only help out when needed. My brother told me our father told him that when he disagreed with the move, he was met with reactions and comments like, "You do not care about me. It's my turn to be happy now. And why are you not listening to me?" I'm upset and heartbroken by this. I have been crying a lot. And I've been crying a lot lately because so many of you have not checked us out on your favorite podcast app like iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it's so be. There are full episodes with stories just like this on all these apps.
Just search our name, okay, Storytime, and you will find them all.
Save me from crying. And there is a little bit more.
What's gross is the my turn to be happy now. It's like,
yeah.
What do you mean? Like, stop saying these things to your kids. You can say them to yourself. You can say them to your friends. Don't say that to your kids.
And it's just like, well, are you not also mourning? Like, it's disrespectful.
Clearly not.
Yeah, it's disrespectful, like, of the family and of, like, the wife and stuff. But it's just like, think about yourself, though, and how you're feeling yourself. It's disrespectful to yourself, and you're not giving yourself time to process all of that.
It sounds like he's already processed it all, and he didn't care about his wife, and he had already moved on to this other woman. And to do it like so transparently around the family, it's like, have you no shame?
It's like, at least try to hide it. God.
Yeah, but now because you're so tasteless, it's like you've now made this a problem for everyone in your family.
Yeah, it's like you could say everyone grieves differently, but that's usually about like the way you spend your time or like how much work you do or the jokes you make. It's not like, I get married to grieve. You know what I mean?
I take my new partner to the funeral.
Yeah.
No.
It's to grieve. It's just my way of grieving.
Brother, you give yourself a week and a half at least.
Literally, it was 49 days. 49 days. Wild.
Yeah, which is it just confirms this guy was cheating on her with emotionally, physically, whatever. He had let go of their marriage before she had passed away, which is so gross.
But there is a little bit more. I plan on talking to our father about it, so we will see. My older brother told me that he wants us to meet M. My sister-in-law told me that we should meet her so that we could see what kind of a person she is. But I do not want to meet her at all. At least not right now or anytime soon. So can I be blamed?
No!
Please feel free to ask any questions and share any advice. What would you do if this happened to you? Thank you for reading this, and once again, sorry for the long text. And there are some comments, but what would you do?
I mean, I would be so furious with my dad, and I don't know if there's a cultural difference where they are not getting so furious, but it's like, I would be like, you disgust me, like I'm not I'm done with you. Like you've abandoned. And it's like my mom had stage 3 cancer and she's in remission now and everything's fine. But like if I find out that like, you know, while my mom's sick, my dad runs off and is like chatting with some woman like and emotionally cheating on my mom while she's sick, I'd be like, you're a scumbag and I want nothing to do with you.
Absolutely.
Like the only saving thing is like if there was some discussion where she's like, I know that I'm not long for this earth and I don't want to be a roadblock to you continuing to be happy. So feel free right now, while I'm still breathing, to go find somebody else.
Yeah.
And I find that very hard to believe that was said.
I really doubt it. But there are some comments, so let's see what the people have said. Comment number 1 says, not the a-hole. Let's face it, your dad had a lover before your mom passed away. He already had plans before she passed away. He doesn't care about how this negatively affects your brother. He only cares about himself. Try and figure out how you can help your brother. That's the only important thing now. Don't meet her if you don't want to. There is no way she was your mom's friend. This was probably a dating app hookup. Another comment says, not the a-hole. Your father sounds like a petulant child that was just freed from a life of servitude. It's his time to be happy. So what was he doing for those 30 years? He was so unhappy in marriage that now he needs to do it all again with the woman he was cheating on your mom with and trying to guilt your younger brother into giving up his whole life for his father. I'd be working with my older brother to see if we could keep the younger brother here with us. Maybe getting child support money from the father. Talk to a lawyer. And I'd leave that selfish man in my rear view mirror, never to talk to again. And that is the end of that story. My flatmate's boyfriend crashed in our home. Now I'm forced to move out.
Get out of my house.
My flatmate messaged me the day before that she was due to arrive back home from holiday to let me know that her boyfriend would be coming back to live with us for 2 months and that he would be finding a job while he lived with us. He had moved overseas to live and work for a year, and then if things didn't work out in the other country, he would probably move back with her. By the way, this comes from Dancing Pineapple 4, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We're only going to guess what we would do in this situation, but let us know what you would do in the comments down below. So, OP says, I was really pissed off because she let me know less than 24 hours before that he would be living with us. She didn't ask either. She just let me know it was happening. I said I wasn't okay with it and was really clear that this is completely unfair on me and disrespectful. Our house is quite small, and I didn't agree to live with 3 people in a small 2-bedroom house, let alone a couple. She said sorry, but that she would do what she could to make sure that I wasn't inconvenienced.
Well, that would be by not having him come over.
Yeah.
That would be, he can't move in. That would be the least inconveniencing thing.
Yeah, just don't do it at all. Yeah. That is so crazy. I let her know that if this was happening, he had to pay his share. I wasn't happy and told her that I wouldn't be around much. We used to spend a lot of time together hanging out and watching similar TV shows. I let her know that I wouldn't do that anymore and instead would just do my own thing in my room or stay out of the house. She said that she agreed with me and that she would talk to him. When I got home after work, they were both there like nothing was wrong. When her and I finally got to talk on our own, I repeated everything I had said. She agreed with everything and let me know that it was only for 2 months, hopefully. I asked if he was moving back permanently because if so, I would move out. I didn't want to be living in limbo. She said that he wasn't and she didn't want to change her life when he would leave. I asked if she was sure because he was here for 2 months and I seemingly had no choice in this. So what if he decided to stay? Then what happens to me? She said she spoke with him and that he was really depressed that things didn't work out how he thought it would in the other country. She didn't want to push him or upset him. I let her know I still wasn't happy about this situation. She agreed, and then nothing happened. I told her I wouldn't hang out much, that I was annoyed, and that I didn't want to get so frustrated I'd end up saying hurtful things because I felt stuck and unhappy. I thought about it, and even though it had only been a week, I was still really uncomfortable about it. So I decided to tell her that I wanted to move out or he needed to find somewhere else to stay for the 2 months because I didn't want to be uncomfortable in my own house. I felt bad because I knew I'd put her in a crappy situation. I mean, she kind of put herself in a crappy situation. This is just consequences. I don't know.
Absolutely.
She obviously hadn't spoken to him about all of this, or if she had, they were both pretending that everything was fine, which made my feelings about this seem very dismissed. Also, if he did move back overseas after 2 months, she'd then be stuck with a lease that she probably couldn't afford on her own. But I didn't want to be living for 2 months in a situation that I never agreed to, and then possibly, at the end of it, having to find a new place anyway. And we do have some comments, but I want to hear your comments before we get into those.
I think you should have gone through like the landlord and said like, this is not part of the lease. You can't.
Sure.
This is blah blah blah.
Yeah. If it comes to the point where you need to move out,
Yeah,
I think pull
then
that
that's not
move.
fair. I think
Yeah.
it's saying like, hey, we agreed to live together. I did not agree to live with another person.
Yeah.
Our lease did not agree to have 3 people in it.
Right. Right.
He's not on the lease, so he can't live here.
Yeah, and like I can't trust him to pay that money if he's not on it too. I mean,
He's not. Yeah, he's not liable for any of that.
yeah, exactly. And like just tell me about things in the future. This is big. This is big.
Yep.
This is big. But we do have some comments. Comment number 1 says, not the a-hole. It is not okay for her to unilaterally decide things like this when you are roommates. What she has done is constructive eviction. She has changed the terms of your rental situation so drastically that it no longer resembles your original agreement. You have not put her in any situation. She has put you in one, and you leaving is a natural consequence of her actions.
Yep.
Do not place any blame on yourself and do not accept any from her. Someone else responds exactly this. And what I'd wonder is what their lease says. Unless soon-to-be ex-roomie is the homeowner letting a room to OP. I'm not a lawyer, but I can't imagine many ways there aren't lease violations in making a unilateral decision to move in another person for a few months.
Yep. Agreed.
It's sad that it's come to OP caring enough about roomie's feelings to worry about moving out, a consequence of roomie's actions, but roomie didn't care enough beyond boyfriend's feelings to care about OP's with him moving in. And we do have an update, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that was well said.
I agree, and that's what I was saying. So
Yeah.
I have no other thoughts than check your lease.
Yeah, exactly. Check your lease.
Yeah, that's
Go
why you have a
there
lease.
if you need to. Yeah, I think it that is honestly a good point though. It's like if her reasoning was that, you know, the boyfriend was all depressed that this didn't work out, then it's like, well, what about me being depressed when he's in here and I have to stay in my room because I don't like the situation?
Yeah.
But we do have an update. So I ended up being able to organize moving out. Okay. I gave her a month's notice and I'm being removed from the lease and moving elsewhere. It's been incredibly uncomfortable and I think in the end I didn't deal with it well. This was all happening just before Christmas, which was crappy. I spoke with her again and was firm. She let me know that she understood that he would be leaving for a week before coming back for a short time and then leaving again. I thought this would be okay, but he never ended up leaving. Aha, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, so he would be leaving. Yeah, okay. Suddenly, it was Christmas Eve, and she was cooking the 3 of us a Christmas dinner while I was at work. I felt awful because I was still mad and annoyed that she once again seemed to lie to me. Yet I couldn't be angry that he was still there because it was Christmas and she was cooking a dinner. I didn't want to participate and accept those nice gestures when I felt like it was all fake. My coworker convinced me that I had to say something. I felt horrible, but she convinced me. Although I probably ruined my flatmate's Christmas, I think it needed to be said. I let her know that I was sorry, but that he never left, and since she didn't stick to what she said, I would now be leaving. She canceled the dinner and wouldn't speak to me when I got home. Later, she told me that she asked him to stay because she didn't want to be alone. She was upset that no one considered her feelings and that she was distressed because she couldn't please both of us. She said she would rather I speak with him directly instead of using her as a middleman. I was confused and asked if I had a guest that she had a problem with, would it be her responsibility to punt them out? And by the way, it's your responsibility to check out full episodes with more stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. You gotta do it. It's your responsibility.
You gotta do it.
I don't know what to tell you. But there is a little bit more to the story, but
yeah. That's just a frustrating situation.
It really is.
Because like you go in, you like living with a friend.
Yeah.
And then it just breaks down because they don't, they're not respectful.
Because like, yes, like her feelings might be all, she might be distressed in the situation. She might be getting pressure from both sides, but it's also like, well,
There's only one pressure that actually matters.
Yeah, like you are involved whether you like it or not. Like you brought this situation in. Maybe like take a second back away from these people.
Yeah.
Think about what you actually think is right. If the boyfriend is maybe pressuring you into like, oh, I don't have a place to stay, I'm so depressed or whatever, then you got to stand your ground with someone. You're doing it with OP. Maybe you should be doing it with your boyfriend.
You're making promises that you cannot keep.
Yeah.
Because it's not your right to keep them.
Yeah. Exactly. But there is a little bit more to the story.
Yeah.
So I've been venting to my best friend about everything that has happened. And in hindsight, that was an awful mistake. She is friends with my flatmate, but she has recently decided that she doesn't want to be friends with this person anymore if that is how they treat people. It's all my fault, and I've tried to convince her otherwise, but she won't budge. I didn't want to move out. I enjoyed living with this person, but unfortunately, I couldn't let the blatant disregard for the fact that it is also meant to be my house go.
Yeah.
So next week, I move out. I do feel bad about how all this went down, but I also feel relieved, and there are some comments.
I mean, it really, really sucks that you were kind of forced out of your place when, like, she had no right to do any of that.
Yeah.
However, also, you know, best, like, the other scenario is that you stand your ground, you convince her that she can't do this, and then it's awkward for the rest of your time living there. Yeah. So, exactly. Like, this is probably the best situation, so you don't have to live in, like, an awkward environment.
Right. Yeah.
It still sucks.
I think it's just people-pleasing tendencies coming out here. It might feel bad, but once you get out of there, I feel like in hindsight, you'll be like, yeah, that was just really crappy what she was doing. So you're doing the right thing. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. But we do have some comments. Comment number 1 says, it's nice that you're so caring, but I'm concerned that it's bordering on something unhealthy for you. You didn't do anything wrong. You should have said something, so you did. You have every right to vent to your best friend, so you did. It's not your responsibility to talk to her boyfriend about this, so you didn't. Any fallout is her fault. It's not like you posted on social media or went around trying to get people to hate her. Also, her feelings are hers to care about and manage. She was a bad roommate doing that to you, and whatever she feels about this is, again, her fault. She needs to grow up. OP responds, I agree. It's actually something I'm trying really hard to work on. I think many people are probably like this, where they go along with what someone else wants because they don't want to cause a problem. That's how I felt anyway. But I really wasn't okay, and even just speaking up and saying no was really uncomfortable, especially when she agreed that I was put in a bad situation and apologized. But nothing seemed to change. Or she made promises and then didn't follow through. I'm not sure if she was lying or if it was terrible communication. It's unfortunate things turned out this way, and I hate being in this house now, but I'm glad to be leaving and really appreciate your kind words. And that is the end of that story.
Yeah. Good luck, OP. You're gonna have better situations in the future. My mother's boyfriend wants to control my life, so I called my brothers.
Call up the broskies.
Trigger warning for verbal abuse. So I, 16 male, lost my dad at Christmas time in 2024 last year. And in the last few months, my mom has been seeing this man I really don't like. He refuses to speak when my mom isn't home. He won't let me eat in the same room as him. I have to use my bedroom's bathroom, and not the one upstairs or the one downstairs, just my bathroom only. He also refuses to let me do my laundry and dry my clothes at the same time as him. By the way, this comes from SwimFast 00. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Keon. What's up?
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments.
What's up?
Yeah, what's up?
What's up?
And OP says, anyways, today I got home from the pool after swimming a few laps, and when I got through the door, he was waiting for me. Scary. He basically, in a nutshell, said, you spend too much time away from home. You aren't supposed to be this independent at 16. I'm going to have to put new locks on these doors to stop you from going out. But the thing is, I only really leave the house early in the morning and late in the afternoon, usually around 6 to 8 p.m. or 7 to 9 a.m. because I'm a swimmer, and that's when I practice and train. I am always very careful to not make too much noise when I'm leaving, and I make sure to shower at the pool since he doesn't like the sound of running water in the morning.
What?
And he doesn't like the smell of chlorine.
What? Who is this
So
guy?
no one's allowed to take showers in the morning?
I hate
That's
the
when I
sound
take
of-
showers.
I hate the sound of running water in the morning.
So he hates rain? Does he yell at the sky when it starts raining?
He's like,
I hate the sound of running water.
no water before 8 a.m. or it's over for you.
So I replied to him saying, basically, both these things I've written about in the past aren't exactly word for word. It all happened really quickly. I don't care what you think. Dad used to take me wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted, no matter what he thought I was doing. And you can't even be bothered to cook me dinner. You don't care about me or Mom. He got really mad and started screaming at me for being disrespectful and rude. I'm really upset about it because I've got bad anxiety, and this shouting and yelling has scared me quite a bit. My mom just got home, and I would have gone down to talk to her, but I can still hear him talking, so I don't want to disturb their conversation. I feel really bad about what I said, but at the same time, my mom works 2 jobs. I work 1 part-time job, and he also works a part-time job. But the thing is, I help Mom with whatever money I get.
Wait, this guy's not even working full time?
He's not even working full-time.
No wonder
You're
he has-
working
Yeah.
and doing all of this other stuff and going to school, and then have to deal with his, verbal attacks. I buy groceries and try to help keep food in the house. If something breaks, I pay for the replacement or else someone to come to fix it. I take care of buying toiletries as well. This is not okay.
You're 16.
You're 16. I do want to say, I know that there are situations where, minors or, teenagers will have to help out financially. However, that shouldn't, if you can prevent that or avoid it, you should not be making your minor child help pay for groceries or paying for, replacements in the house. You shouldn't be doing that. He should, the stepdad should have a full-time job.
Yeah.
If they can't afford to live in this house without making their minor child pay for things.
Yeah, this guy's talking about changing the locks on the door. What, am I going to have to buy those too?
Yeah. While he is a fully grown man, he will make me pay for the family takeout when we order a Chinese or a chippy. Despite me paying, I've never even gotten to eat my food at the table with my mom and him.
This is insane.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
This is crazy.
I've got 2 older brothers, but they both live far away now. I'm the youngest, and they only really come home for birthdays. They also came home in July for a big swim meet I had. My mom's boyfriend is usually a lot nicer in front of them. The first and only time he's ever been to my swim meet was when my brothers went, and after they left, he told me he'd never go again. I really miss my brothers because they really helped me out in a tough time. But I don't like calling or texting them because I don't want them to be stressed or worried about me. What do I do? Call or text your brothers. If your mom is doing nothing and your stepdad's being a jerk
I'm
and an
getting-
a-hole.
I'm getting an impression that your mom doesn't know.
Well, yeah,
that
tell
this
your
how
mom.
he's acting.
First of all, tell your mom. If she does nothing, tell your
Yeah.
brothers.
And,
Because this is unacceptable behavior.
get like
Well,
get
there's
some
no
kind of
way that
evidence for it too, because it really feels like
There's no way that
if she would be with this guy in the first place, she feels like the kind of person who might just not listen about whatever's wrong with him if there's no concrete proof. So I don't know, try to next time he's shouting at you or telling you, she's got to know you can't even eat at the table with them. That's insane that
That's
she
the
would
thing. She has to know
sign
that.
off on that.
She has to know that OP's paying for all of this stuff. I feel like the mom is not going to be someone that OP can rely on here.
Get some stuff recorded and then call your brothers.
Call your brothers. And there is an update. So as you all know from my last post, I am really upset about the whole situation. After I posted that, I texted my 2 older brothers who are both in their 20s, and they're going to surprise visit tonight. They're going to be staying over for a few days. In the meantime, I'm going to take the advice I was given by some people. Thank you so much for all the help. I'm going to start voice recording every time he starts to get all mean and nasty and rude with me. It's been very tense and hostile all morning. Once again, it is just me and him, and my mom is away at work as usual. I woke up at 6 to go do some swim training, and when I got back around 8:15 or so, he was coming down the stairs out of bed. He gave me a very nasty look and told me to get out of his sight and have a shower because I apparently stunk of pool water and chlorine. I shower literally after every swim I do with body wash and shampoo. Anyways, I had my shower, and after my shower, I was laying in my room. He knocked on the door, which was really unusual. He doesn't really ever come into my room unless I've done something to really annoy him. In fact, he straight up avoids my room at all costs most of the time. He sat down on the edge of my bed and he started talking about how, when he was a young man like me, he wouldn't be wasting time laying in bed all day, sulking over some man, referring to my dad.
Some man
who
is
passed away
wild.
last Christmas. Wow.
I would literally be like, you know what? I'm going to go tell my mom. I'm telling my mom.
Wow. I just sat there and took it because I was too scared to stand up for myself. Anyways, I'm quite annoyed now because I didn't get a voice recording of it. Also because he has no right to talk about my dad like that. I can't wait for my brothers to come home, but at the same time, I'm worried about what could happen. And there is a second update.
I hope they toss him into the nearest body of water.
Yeah, you need to tell your brothers now. Now, get out of there if you can. Hopefully your brothers take you out of there. Update 2. So basically, my brothers got here and told me to pack my bags while they spoke to Mom. Yes! Yes! Brothers for the win!
Get out of there.
When I was packing my bags, I could hear lots of shouting because the boyfriend came home from the cafe. I don't know what went down exactly because I was very anxious and didn't want to go downstairs out of my room. Anyways, my bags were finished being packed, and altogether I had 2 suitcases and 3 backpacks. I know it's a lot, but I didn't know where I was going or how long I'd be staying. No, I don't think that's a lot. Take all of your stuff. Get out of there.
Just be fully moved out. Because if your mom's like signing off on this,
they're probably going to throw all your stuff out.
Unacceptable.
One of my brothers came up to my room and told me to start bringing my stuff out to the car. So, of course, I brought all my stuff out and put it into my brother's boot. It took about 3 trips up and down the stairs. When I was walking through the hallway past the living room door, all I saw was my older brother holding my mom's hand and her boyfriend sitting on the sofa shouting, "I didn't do that. He's a filthy little liar." And a few other words which I won't be saying here. I was really sad seeing my family so crazy and fighting. When I was putting my stuff in the car, all I heard was more shouting and my mom crying, but it was pretty muffled. I don't know what went down because my brother that was helping me out to the car with my stuff kept talking to me, telling me not to listen and to just be calm and that I'd be all right. Good brothers. 10 out of 10 brothers. As I was getting into the car, my brother came out with my mom and she was crying, and the boyfriend wasn't anywhere nearby. So I got out and hugged her. She started crying even more and she just said she was so sorry. One of my brothers said that sorry wouldn't cut it, and so with that, I was really shaken up. I don't like to think that my mom has taken her boyfriend's side or that she said something about me, but to be honest, I'm really upset and really shocked at the whole thing. I didn't expect to literally move out of my own house I've lived in my whole life in the matter of an hour. When we were leaving in the car, my mom's boyfriend kept messaging me and my mom kept calling me, but I was told not to answer or look at my messages. Before my brother took my phone off me, all I read was, "You little effer, you're bad and I effing despise you, little crap."
And then you send that to your mom.
Yeah, and you say, "Yeah, Mom, you're fine with this? You're fine with this?" That really scares me because I didn't think it would all come down to this. But it is coming down to the fact that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story, but do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, these kind of situations can cause long-lasting and sometimes irreparable damage between you and your children.
Yeah.
When you decide to be with a partner who is outright abusive to them,
Yeah.
and do nothing to temper it other than just kind of like, shaking your head, you're doing nothing.
You're doing nothing. You're
And
not helping your kid.
By staying with that person, you are just like tacitly admitting, I care more about this person's feelings and perceptions towards me than I care about the well-being of my own child. And that is not a wound that heals very easily.
No. Yeah. Mom's not going to have the same relationship ever again with her son. And she's seemingly lost all of the relationships with her sons because of this stepdad. It's been a few days now, but I'm staying with my brothers at one of their places, and I even have a dog now. I really miss my mom, and I want to talk to her and see her, but I know it's probably the best thing for my brothers to do to take me out of the situation. I'm sure it will all work out soon. Also, thanks for everyone's help and advice. I feel like it would have only gotten worse if I had stayed with my mom and her boyfriend, but my brothers are dealing with the situation, and hopefully it all gets resolved and the boyfriend leaves. And that is the end of that story, folks. Dang. Good luck, OP. I'm glad that your brothers are taking care of you.
I saw my boyfriend wasted for the first time, and it's not what I expected.
Never a good look.
I, 25 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 26 male, for a little over a year now. Important to note for later, he was married at 18 and divorced at 21 to a woman who had a child at 16 with a different person. Her son was not his son, and he knew that. But for a few years, he was a stepdad until his ex divorced him. The divorce was ugly, and she went fully no contact after and didn't allow visitation with her son. He had no legal claim, so he just didn't see her or her son again. She moved to another city with her kiddo. By the way, this comes from Intelligent Pie 6292. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Thorny from Super Troopers, or Boone from Twisters, and Cake, aka Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, also important to know, up until this point, he has never drank in front of me. He never said why, but even when we went out, he never drank booze at all. I don't mind this because my mom has a problem with booze, and I usually have 1 or 2 drinks at most also. Last week, we had some mutual friends over to my apartment, and he started doing some small, quick drinks.
In quick succession.
And got really messed up really fast. We had 5 friends over. 2 were not drinking with me on my patio, and the other 3 were inside with my boyfriend. I saw he was really having small, quick drinks, but I didn't really care because why not have a little now and then? Just because he hasn't before doesn't mean he can't. Then, what felt like out of nowhere, one of the people who had been inside with my boyfriend came out to tell me my boyfriend had had a little too much and I needed to check on him. I was confused because everything seemed totally fine like 30 minutes before this. Then I heard him yelling something incoherent. When I went into the kitchen where they were hanging out, I saw that the whole brand new bottle of vodka our friends bought was gone. And there were adult soda cans from a 12-pack that only had a couple left. 4 people were drinking, including him. He was in the bathroom throwing up and not making any sense. And then he fully passed out mid-sentence.
Dang.
Not in a funny way, but in like an immediately choking on his throw up kind of way. He leaned back against the tub and was asleep and then started vomiting again while still sitting up with his head back. We were all panicking and one of my friends called emergency while me and another laid him on his side.
Thank God.
Thank God.
I just needed confirmation.
that you guys knew what to do in any way.
Whew.
He finally started to come to when the ambulance got there. On the way to the hospital, he was coherent but didn't know where he was or who I was. He kept calling me his ex-wife's name.
Tough.
And asking for her son and asking me why I was keeping his boy from him. He said it a few times, so I know I didn't misunderstand. He also started like he was going to swing at the EMT, and I think he would have if he had any control of himself at all. He is fine now, or he will be. He got booze poisoning and was in the hospital for a little over 2 days, but he's out and recovering now. He doesn't remember the things he said or did at all. He doesn't remember past his first few quick drinks. According to our friends, he just started straight drinking from the bottle after the first few small quick drinks, and they were trying to get him to stop. He was just being a belligerent knucklehead to them. They ended up fighting over the bottle, and then he chugged like most of it during or after the fight. Shortly after that, the throw-up started, and then everything went downhill fast. He's apologized for all of it. He said he's really sorry, and this is why he doesn't drink, which I guess is good to know. Would have been good to know before all this happened. Our friends are making jokes about it with him, and everyone seems super keen to move on and forgive and forget, but I can't. He said he's sorry so many times, but I just can't unsee it now. So I ended things with him. Some of my friends said I'm overreacting and he's never done it before, but after him calling me her name all night, whether he remembers it or not, I can't forget it. This hasn't been easy, but I felt like my skin was crawling when he touched me, and I don't think there was coming back from it for me. His behavior that whole night reminded me of my childhood, and I want to be far away from that now. Especially because he knows my history, and he never told me he gets like this before, only after I saw it in person. He said it so normally too, just I get like that when I'm drinking. When I ended it, he tried to change my mind at first, but he accepted it after a while. He has been respecting my request not to contact me after the breakup, but a couple of my friends are really upset with me for ending things over some bad judgment. We have an update. Well, it's been a weird couple of days. Shortly after my last post, my ex started texting me and asked me to just talk to him. Honestly, there's a lot I needed to understand and questions I needed to ask. So we set up a time the next day at a park near me. Maybe to get closure, maybe to try one last time, I don't know. I wanted to at least try to talk one last time. That night, one of our other mutual friends, we will call Hannah, also texted me and asked if we could meet up. I was super hesitant at first because I don't really know Hannah all that well. She was really insistent she needed to talk to me and promised she wouldn't pressure me about anything. She asked if I could come by that night for tea and I agreed. I'm glad we did meet up because she told me a lot of stuff I didn't know. Hannah has been friends with my ex since high school and knew him and his ex-wife when they were married. She told me they got a divorce because he had a serious drinking issue when they were married, got 2 DUIs.
Wow.
One when he wasn't even of legal drinking age.
Oh, wow.
And a drug disorderly. His ex-wife's final straw was him arriving home wasted when her son was in the car with him.
Completely
Yikes.
unacceptable.
No.
Yeah,
Completely
that's-
unacceptable.
yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, this is
That's
a guy
really,
who
really
clearly
bad.
needs help. And it, you're not a professional OP.
Yeah.
You don't have to provide that help, especially when you didn't know what you were getting into. There was an honesty up front.
Yeah.
And also, you're also very young.
Yeah, they're both so young.
Yeah.
After that, she packed up and went no contact as soon as the divorce was finalized. I didn't know any of that. He was also in active recovery when we met, regularly attending meetings. He kept it all from me. Hannah told me he also did something really similar in May when they went to a music festival as a group. I didn't go because I was working that weekend. I knew he was weird when he got back, and I asked him about it. He just said he and a few others had gotten into a bit and he didn't want to talk about it. According to Hannah, he got blackout at the festival on the first night and spent it vomiting in the medical tent, sobered up, and then repeated it the next day.
That's crazy. The fact that he did it literally the next day. That's not even 24 hours, I
Yeah.
bet. That's wild to me.
His friends were upset with him that time, but he begged them not to say anything to me, and no one did. Hannah said she felt really awful keeping it from me, but we really didn't know each other all that well. So all those times they fell silent when I walked up or that I misunderstood some private joke now make a lot more sense. Hannah and I talked for hours, and she was really kind and empathetic and really helped me sort out my feelings. She also said I'm more than welcome to tell him who told me, as she's told him before if he wasn't honest with me soon, she would be. I'm forever going to be grateful that we had our meeting before I sat down with my ex. My ex and I went to talk yesterday, and it was messy. I really was hoping he would tell me all of that himself. And when he got there, I opened the floor and asked him to help me understand what happened that night. I didn't tell him right away that Hannah and I had talked because I wanted to see if he would tell me the truth or keep it from me still. Maybe that was shady or some kind of messed up mind game, like he claimed, but it made sense to me at the time. He didn't tell me though. He still just kept apologizing and asking if we could move on. He said he loves me and wants to be with me, and just wants to go back to how it was before this happened. I told him that he almost passed away. We couldn't pretend this just didn't happen.
Yeah.
He said, fine, we could just move on then. And I said I couldn't move on if we couldn't talk about it because I'm angry and hurt. If there's any chance at all, I need him to be able to talk to me about this and not just try to glaze over it with apologies.
Well, it's like, it's not, I don't know. He's trying to say like, oh, we can just move on. But you haven't actually addressed the problem.
Yeah.
He's denying that he has one.
Yeah,
He doesn't even think he
exactly.
has one. So there's no way to move on when you're still in the same place.
Yeah, and in reality,
Yeah.
for anyone out there with, hearing this and you're like, oh, that sounds kind of familiar, or I have a friend that's somewhere in the, along those lines with anything, they're denying it or they're not taking accountability, they should know that, hey, this is going to be not only affecting them, but everyone around them, their relationships, their loved ones, everyone.
Yeah.
And it could get to a problem, again, if not for themselves, it might hurt somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hope that they can get him back into another sort of program for
Yeah.
it or something. He said he would try and asked me what I wanted to know. So I asked why he decided to drink, and he said he didn't know. I asked at what point he stopped remembering, and he said sometime after he took the bottle after the fight with his other friend. I asked why he did that. If he wasn't blackout at the time, what made him decide to chug the bottle? He said that his friends were telling him he needed to slow down, and it pissed him off because it felt like a challenge. Then I asked him why he thought he called me his ex-wife's name while blacked out. He tried to shut down the conversation again, and I said I really needed him to talk to me about this. After going in circles, I finally just told him that Hannah and I had talked, and I know about his DUIs and drinking with the kid in the car. I also told him I knew about the music festival in May, and he lost it. He didn't deny any of it, just got angry that I knew. Not just angry, he fully blew up at me. Started screaming about how cruel it was to keep it from him, that I knew all that, and just let him look like an idiot and just let him lie, and that I was just playing messed up mind games. So I started yelling back that he was a liar and the mind games were all on him, and then it blew up into a mess, neither one of us listening or communicating well at all. He kept saying he just wanted to move on from it, and I kept saying he clearly hasn't moved on from it if he won't even tell me about it, and I have to learn from his friends. He then said it was my fault because I was so adamant about not being around a regular user that he had to lie to me or I would have left him.
So OP, I don't know, did we know that before that OP specifically had brought up? It seems like she brought up, she was like...
We weren't for sure that they had talked about it, but we
so
were sure that OP was around it.
Yes, but it seems like OP's
Has
now
stated
telling
it.
us that she specifically stated.
And he
See,
knew.
now
that
that's
this was a
super
boundary.
icky.
Yeah, he knew, and I was like, oh, wait, I shouldn't tell her my history or my addiction because she'll break up with me.
Yeah.
No, I think the breakup was the thing to do.
Yes.
And he had to stop going to treatment because he was scared I would find out. After that, it got ugly with name calling on both sides. We both left angry and still broken up, and I haven't heard from him at all yet. I'm kind of hoping this is the end for now. Everything that has happened the last week and a half has made me really examine our past year together more closely, and now I see the flaws a lot more clearly. I think because we were compatible in a lot of ways, laughed together like the same TV shows and movies, had similar interests in humor, we had a lot of fun together. I didn't really notice how often he would fully shut down conversations about his past. All of our biggest fights were around him being cold and distant for weeks at a time and not communicating what was going on. So I was left constantly wondering if I had done something wrong, and then he would go back to normal and I would be so relieved that he wasn't being like that anymore. I would just drop it. I feel like he hid too much from me, lied too much, and made his friends lie to me too.
Yeah.
I thought I had found my circle, and I was finally getting to the good part of life. And this whole thing made that delusion come crumbling down. And by the way, you can come down to listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime.
Yeah. I think you made the right decision. I'm glad that you saw those red flags.
Yeah.
And I hope that he gets the help that he needs.
I hope so too.
Because he's clearly like very stuck in it.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're stuck in that, you lash out at everyone and everything. And it's hard to see that light at the end of the tunnel, but it is there.
Yeah. hopefully his friends
Yeah,
can
help him.
bring him out of it. Some of it is my fault too. I moved to the city for a job and didn't know anyone here, so when I met him, I just sort of clung to his life. His friends became my friends, his favorite places became my favorite places. I didn't spend any time building a life of my own here. I spent it fitting myself into his. So that's the first thing I'm going to work on fixing, figuring out who I am and finding my own life and people outside of him and his. I also got on the books with my old therapist, though not for another 9 weeks, so I'll have to wait for that. For now, I'm going to focus on work and myself and figuring out what happens next. And that's the end of that story.
That's the end of that. My boyfriend's son warned me about him. Now I'm doubting our relationship.
Should have probably listened to your boyfriend's son.
Me, 27 female, with my boyfriend, 50 male of 3 months. His kid warned me about him. I've been dating Jesse for about 3 months. It's been a bit of a whirlwind romance. Jesse is the kind of guy I've always wanted. Confident and smart and makes me feel like a princess. The spicy sleep is great and I feel like we have a deep connection.
I bet you do.
By the way, this comes from AirPass, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley, the guy.
He's about to crash out. Look at him. He's red already. And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. OP says, last Friday, Jesse and I went out and ran into his son, Julian, 19. Julian shouldn't have been there as he is underage, so I assume he had a fake ID. Jesse was excited to see him, but Julian seemed like he didn't want to see Jesse at all. It was very awkward. Later, while Jesse was talking to someone he knew from work, Julian approached me. He told me he'll get tired of you. He won't care about you anymore and just see you as something he has to spend money on. Then I'll find something new. He always does. He said he was sorry and then left the bar. I didn't know how to respond, so I talked to Jesse. He told me how his ex-wife and stepdaughters had poisoned Julian against him. I've always known Jesse to be very generous, so I don't believe the money part is true. But I do know that Jesse hardly ever spends time with his son, which is like a little bit of a red flag.
That is, yeah.
He says Julian won't answer his calls or texts and avoids him. Jesse also works a significant amount and finds it difficult to balance his time. How do I know if this is a red flag or not? This kid could have just had a warped perception of his father. But I can't help but feel badly for Julian. He seemed really sad at that bar. And Common One says Julian's mother, the said ex-wife, it would be pretty messed up to me if a biological child chose his stepmother and stepsisters over his father, and that would be a serious red flag to me. OP says she is the mother. His sisters are half siblings. Comment 2 says, I'm always surprised at just how biased this subreddit is against relationships with age gaps. It's not like you're 18 and he's preying on your inexperience. You're a grown woman. There's nothing inherently wrong with the age gap in your relationship. Anyway, never let someone else into your relationship. This kid clearly has an agenda, and he probably doesn't have your best interests at heart. This is supported by the fact that Jesse's excitement to see his son only went one way. There's bitterness there, and it's not coming from Jesse. Keep Julian's words in mind in case you see any other red flags, like how did Jesse's previous relationships go?
Yeah.
But don't let those words supersede your gut feeling about the relationship. What are your thoughts on this?
If, let's say, Keon and I started dating.
Yes.
Huh?
And his sister came up to me and said, hey, you're just a peach right now. And once he gets his fill, he's going to go
Ew.
find another peach.
I hate that.
I would probably be like, Keon,
Yeah.
what does she mean by this? What's going on?
Yeah, I hated how
Who are
you
you gonna
said
choose,
that.
me or her? Huh? Who are you gonna believe?
I'm just asking questions.
I hated how you said that, but I do agree. I think you should go to your partner who seemingly you have a good relationship with and have a conversation with him about it and see what his relationship with his son is like, his relationship with his ex is like.
And I know that those words that Julian said, it's
to sow discord whether or not he is,
yeah, but
right
it's like,
in it.
do I let it be water over a rock or do I take it in and
Yeah.
let it? Because I feel like these words are going to haunt OP.
Absolutely.
And then something's going to happen. It's going to be
Yeah.
like, oh, he was right.
Yeah.
That's a vibe I get here. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
little mysterious warning.
Yeah. I agree. OP says, I'm not worried about the age difference. A little surprised by the responses toward it. Them running into each other was weird. Jesse was excited, but he didn't ask why Julian was drinking underage at the bar. It didn't seem to bother him. Julian drove afterwards as well, and he didn't seem wasted, but I was surprised Jesse didn't say anything. He also didn't seem to notice that Julian seemed awkward running into us. Until I mentioned what Julian told me, he didn't seem to have any idea that the encounter was so awkward. I just feel like it could go either way so easily. Julian doesn't seem like a bad kid, but Jesse doesn't seem like a bad guy either. Does it have to be one or the other? Comment 3 says he's 50 years old and chasing after a 27-year-old. Listen to his son. Someone that feels too good to be true usually is. Comment 4, you are 27. He is 50. He's with you because you're significantly younger and have a better body and higher spicy sleep drive than women in his own age.
That is the craziest assumption.
That's crazy.
I've ever
That is
heard.
actually crazy.
You know how many
Whoa.
MILFs have a high?
Yeah, I think I don't like that comment.
drive?
Open
Why?
your eyes. If Julian was 12, then maybe don't believe him, but he's 19. Had his mom poison him against Jesse, then Julian would have come to the realization by now that his mom was lying. And there is an update 3 months later, but any thoughts?
My prediction?
Yes.
I think they're going to break up in this update.
Yeah.
I think what Julian said was true, and it's going to come out in a different way. I think OP should have done what you said.
Mhm.
Talk to him, try to figure it out.
I hope that she does.
I just don't think
Yeah.
the emotional intelligence. I haven't heard anything about his emotional intelligence, so I'm a little.
Yeah. Little curious about that. Thanks for all the advice, even though it was tough to hear. I ended up deciding to move forward with the relationship, but keep an eye out for any other red flags. To backtrack, early in our relationship, I got a text from a friend of mine that he had seen Jesse at the local spicy club.
Uh-oh.
I spoke to Jesse about it, and he said he did not consider it cheating because he did not get lap dances or touch the dancers.
I went on a date with her, but we didn't kiss or go home together. We just
So
went
it's
on a
fine.
date.
I'm sorry. Okay. So now she's confirming that he already had some trouble in the beginning of the relationship. So yeah, now I have less faith in this relationship.
Same.
I let him know that I would let it slide, but in the future, I'm not okay with him going to spicy clubs without talking to me about it first. He agreed, but I kept noticing he would be out working late. He told me he had an emergency flood and had to work late, and I ended up seeing him at a gas station that I was driving by. I stopped and talked to him, and he said he had just gotten off work, but he smelled like cigarettes and booze, and his clothes weren't dirty like they typically are when he works flood damages. I also noticed he was very protective of his work phone. He leaves his other cell phone out all the time, but once I asked to use his work phone to look something up, and he basically told me no, and to get my phone charging in the other room.
Dude's cheating.
Yeah, that's weird. It all just built up, so I snooped. I got up in the middle of the night when I was staying at his place and looked through both phones. On his work phones, I found texts to escorts and spicy dancers. Hooey. On his other call, I found a ton of texts to his ex-wife, who he promised me he didn't talk to anymore unless it was about Julian. Liar.
They'd be talking about Julian a lot.
Yeah. You know what? Props to Julian for letting you know. Good son.
Yep, I knew it.
Apparently, she just started dating again a month ago, and he absolutely shredded her for it. He said some very cruel things like, "You must have found a guy who loves fat butts if he'll be seen with you." Suck, dude.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I was about to say.
What he said?
No.
He just insulted her. Are you talking to him? I'm
I was
confused.
just saying, like, that was a weak insult. Like,
Oh, yeah, I know. That's
like,
what I'm saying.
You just, like,
Oh, I thought you were saying
he
what's
just
wrong
likes
with that to
girls
me?
with fat butts. Okay.
Yeah. She never replied as far as I can tell. Looking at those texts, I knew that any future with Jesse was going to end like this. I also saw that he never messages Julian. What's worse, their text feed is Julian reaching out every couple months and getting ignored. Ugh, that's so sad. One text from a few months ago was Julian telling him that his band had a gig and asking if he would come. I remember that weekend. Me and Jesse stayed in that night and had a bunch of spicy sleep. He never even mentioned his son at a show. I felt sick. I went online and bought 10 copies of his band's EP a few days later. Oh, OP feels so bad. She's like, I have to support his son now.
He's a bad dad.
Oh, man. In the end, I decided to just ghost him. He obviously had no respect for our relationship, and I felt I didn't know him anything. When he was at work, I got all my things out of his apartment and left a note. I just wrote that his family was right about him and to not contact me again. He texted me later that he had an emergency and had to work late.
Oh, I bet. At the strip.
Ooh, he obviously hadn't seen my note, and I just didn't respond. The next day, he found the note and started messaging me about it. I decided to take a page from his ex-wife's book and ignore him. As the week moved on and he realized I was serious, the messages started getting hateful. Things I don't care to repeat. I blocked his number then. And by the way, don't block us. Listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Story Time. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Honestly, OP did the right move. Listen to Julian. He knows what's up. He's a good kid. He doesn't spread lies. So I think you did the right thing, OP. Always listen to the kid. I feel like it was just like a little angel being like, fear him.
I enjoy those.
Yeah.
Me too. It was a great story. What do you think, Keon?
What do you
Good
think?
for you, OP.
Yeah, good for you. Get out of that relationship.
If someone warns you about a relationship,
Probably, good
Yeah.
to look into that.
They went out of their way.
yeah.
They didn't
You didn't have to.
They went out of their way. There wasn't a spiteful energy to get you to date them, or like
Yeah.
like if Julian was trying to get in your pants, then to be like, you.
Weird.
But like it was purely a good intention of warning,
Yeah.
which I think we all need to listen to.
But there is a little left. It's disturbing for me to think about what a cruel and vicious person he ended up being. If Julian hadn't talked to me at the bar, how much longer would it have taken me to see this side of him? I also have this weird, guilty feeling that I'm a homewrecker, even though Jesse obviously wrecked his home himself. I really thought of me and Jesse as having a potential for a long-term relationship. It hurts to have those hopes crushed. I'm not getting any younger. I got a lot of comments last post about the age gap. I'm not really interested in that. I know several couples with significant age gaps. I'm a grown woman, not a teenager, and I can choose to date someone older. Hopefully it won't be an a-hole next time. And comment once is good on you for getting out. Think about dropping a note to Julian so you can thank him for the warning. The kid might feel better for knowing that his warning helped someone for once. Besides, it can be validating when dealing with a harmful a-hole to have someone else go, yeah, he's a knucklehead all right. And you were right. OP says, I did consider it, but I feel like I'm probably the last person he wants to hear from. And that is the end of the story, folks.
My boyfriend wants to watch a Twitch streamer while we get spicy.
He's got to get those Twitch drops.
I, 29, female, knew he was into video games when I started dating my boyfriend, 28, male. I'm basically the opposite of him in that department. I have never been interested in anything video game related. That entire nerd culture is not for me.
Whoa.
Whoa. Mind you, I have made an effort to understand his hobby, and over the years, I've even found games I enjoy playing. But I would definitely not consider gaming to be a hobby of mine. I'll play rhythm games, like once a week for an hour at most, for example. And by the way, this comes from user Twitch Ovencorn. And we're here to give you good advice goofily. But we don't have all the answers, we only know what we do. So if you do something different, let us know in the comments. In the beginning of the relationship, the first couple of years or so, it was pretty difficult getting through to him because he was constantly on World of Warcraft. We had to set boundaries later on because I found he wasn't making any time for me, and he was constantly on Twitch, either watching or streaming himself or playing WoW or LOL or whatever else. It got pretty bad, but we worked through it. His obsession with Twitch kind of dwindled down, and we were both seemingly happy. However, and I feel a little dirty even writing this. I feel worthless and absolutely disgusting and unwanted. Please don't judge me too harshly. One night, before bed, as I was getting ready to lay down, he was watching a stream on his tablet of some famous Twitch female streamer. I happened to glance over, and she was pretty scantily clad, with big nerd glasses and front bazongas hanging out. I thought, whatever, it's just him watching a game. This went on for a few nights in a row. Each time it was a different girl. He'd watch for a bit, turn it off, and immediately want to have a spicy sleep. And I've secretly felt horrible about it. But I guess last night kind of broke the camel's back. He set up a stream, started coming on to me in bed, and left his tablet propped up on the night table. I was going along with his advances, but attempted to close the tablet when he told me, no, leave it on. I want to watch her while I do it. I was pretty much in shock. Didn't know how to respond. I started crying and left for the night. He didn't even really attempt to stop me. I got a very pathetic sorry as I was leaving. Thankfully, my parents live like 5 minutes away, so I spent the night there. Since I left, he's attempted to call me and has texted me twice. One text was to tell me I'm overreacting. Am I?
No.
No.
The second that it was like every night he watches these girls on Twitch and then immediately goes, okay, I'm ready for you now, I'd be like, nah, we're fixing this.
How do I approach this? I thought we were over it. I thought we had a decent relationship, but he clearly prefers watching women play video games over just having the spice to sleep with me. Do I approach him or wait for him to approach me? Oh, let's get in these comments. T. Tebow, you're not worthless or disgusting. What your boyfriend did was extremely disrespectful, and you are right to be upset. Watching scantily clad girls is one thing. Plenty of people like to watch that or other similar things. What he's doing is basically using your body while he thinks of other people, which is pretty gross. Be firm with your boundaries. If he still brushes it off, then you should probably get a better boyfriend. OP replies, yeah. Which is why I feel like absolute crap. I don't think he realizes this, and to me it seems like he sees nothing wrong with what he did. He has accused me of overreacting and has basically said that other guys probably do it, so it's fine. He has hinted at his one-handed habits regarding this Twitch content before. Do men actively do this to women playing video games? That seems odd to me. I don't know. I just feel used and dirty. What's really crazy is that he didn't even have enough respect to bring it up. Like, of course, my girlfriend won't mind being effed while I look at another woman on my computer. I think it's pretty obvious that the second he gets one of these female gamers to show a bit of interest in him, he's out the door. Biff, a.k.a. Levi, says, right? He even said, I want to watch her while I do you. Basically, I don't even want to acknowledge that it's you that I'm having the spicy sleep with. I want to pretend it's her. The audacity is astounding. He's lucky that crying was the extent of her reaction. There's an update the next day. Last night, I decided to get together for coffee with him, mostly because my mother urged me to. I never told her the extent of what exactly happened, but she knows it's video game related because we've gone over this problem before in the past. Anyway, I initiated the conversation via text and he agreed to meet me. I guess I don't know what I was expecting. Closure, maybe? Because I was pretty sure I wanted to end it and stop trying to work things out because I've been working things out for the past 5 years. It's just become exhausting. He got into defense mode right away, basically listing all the things I've done wrong in the relationship and why he's over me.
Yeah, baby, you wouldn't let me watch my Twitch, girl.
She's like, actually, no, you're not firing me. I quit. No, actually, you did all the wrong stuff. And first one on the list, not letting me look at other girls while we do the bang bang. According to him, here's the things I've done wrong. I declined going to Korea last year for vacation. He so badly wanted to go. I knew if I went, I'd be left alone every day because his buddy would also have come too. Again, also there was a big League of Legends tournament happening at the time.
I was going to say, where's the video game tournament?
I was going to say,
I was already laughing.
Korea,
Yeah.
He's going to be like, Dota? League of Legends? I'm in.
Playing the worst games of all time. So he would have been doing League of Legends related things and mentally one hand clapping to the cosplayers all the time while I explored the city alone or hung out in a hotel. I said I wasn't interested in going. He got huffy, but eventually got over it, or so I thought. I changed my appearance, even though I knew he liked women with long brown hair. I decided to cut my hair fairly short and bleach it blonde not too long ago. It was time for a change anyway, and I'm very happy with how it turned out, and he was not. I always refused to wear revealing clothing. He'd constantly badger me about how I don't wear enough stuff that shows off my front airbags and my legs. I'm fairly modest, so I'm not into that kind of stuff. I'm more comfortable in a t-shirt and jeans. He'd want me to wear sundresses and plunging tank tops, and I always said no. My birthday gift this year was a pair of those giant wraparound headphones. Headgear. I don't know what they're called. All the Twitch streamers are wearing them, but he spent a fairly good amount of money on them.
No.
He got her for her birthday.
They probably have the cat ears
Yeah.
too.
It's like, babe, I got you a gift for your birthday. It's really for me. I hope you enjoy this thing you'll never use. And since you aren't going to use it, can I borrow it? He spent a fairly good amount of money on them, which sounds sweet, I guess. But I had originally complained that my old headphones suck and I needed new ones for the gym.
Oh.
He got me these bulky ones and got upset that I don't wear them much. He's asked me in the past to wear them and put my hair in pigtails and wear revealing clothing around the house while wearing my glasses. I'm not even kidding. This guy's a major stereotype. I didn't play League of Legends, and I didn't enjoy sitting on the couch watching him play hours of it. I don't know how to play the game. I tried numerous times. I suck. I didn't enjoy myself. Why would I keep at it? And I was not open-minded about anything. This is pertaining to the situation in the original post. I'm not open-minded enough about being his little fun time, so this hurt his feelings too. I am not accepting of his spicy hobbies, which is a total effing lie because I've agreed to do some pretty out there stuff in the past to appease him. I'm very open-minded about the spicy sleep. I would have appreciated a forewarning about the Twitch girl joining us, though. I don't get along with his friends. I tried to so hard. I tried to relate to those guys like you wouldn't believe, but they all literally have zero social skills. They're awkward and blatantly ignored my existence whenever I was around. They'd start talking about things they're interested in and just disregard anything I ever said. They'd invite him to board game nights, asking if I'd be going too, like they don't want me there. I was pretty much an outcast, so no, I tried. They just didn't want to be around me. And we have a little bit more story left for you to be around before we ask one of you out there for maybe your thoughts and opinions on this situation, or if you've been through one yourself. But what do we say we should do here, Carly?
Break up with this man.
No way. I think it's time for us to go to
suggestion.
classes to learn how to be better at League of Legends.
I was going to say, OP, get really good at League of Legends.
So in conclusion, I told him I was done. He didn't really react dramatically. I think he's done with the relationship too. He can watch all the streamers he wants now and play League of Legends for 23 hours of the day. That must be quite a relief. I'm going to the apartment to pick up whatever I can later. I'm staying with my parents until I find a new place. I feel oddly calm and okay with everything that's gone down in these last couple days. This is almost a relief. Thanks, everyone. It should be a relief. Let's see what the comments have to say about that. Darth Kane says, are you kidding? I play video games and I want to punt the crap out of him. If you ever talk to him again, tell him some loony on the internet says, you're the reason women don't like gamers, a-hole. And then Zork Eld Skorkin, that whoosh sound. That was the bullet you dodged. He's 28? Heck no. You're so much better off without him.
Wow.
You're done. You're gone. Maybe should have been gone a little earlier.
It's okay.
But
sometimes you take a little while to realize the craziness.
My girlfriend keeps pushing for us to try poly, and now I'm having doubts.
Yeah, that would do that.
Yeah, I doubt you're gonna stay
I would
together.
doubt that one.
Yeah, she's pushing for P.
My girlfriend, 23 female, and I, 22 female, have been together for 2.5 years, and I genuinely thought she was someone I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. But in the last couple of months, she started pushing really hard for this, and I don't know what to do. By the way, this comes from user Throwaway. What do I do? 3377. I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give you some good advice, Goofly, but we don't have all the answers. We are not the all-seeing eye. We are not the all-knowing orb. We are just people. And if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. It started about 3 months ago, when after a night out with a couple of our friends we go to college with, she told me that another woman, Becky, had approached her at the bar and asked her out. Apparently, my girlfriend told Becky she was already in a relationship, and Becky suggested looking into polyamory. I laughed, thinking this was just a funny, odd story she was sharing, but she was completely serious about it, which just really weirded me out. I told her I wasn't comfortable with that, and after that, she let it go for a couple of weeks. But lately, she's been bringing it up more and more, to the point that it's been really bothering me. She'll show me articles preaching the benefits of a polyamorous lifestyle. She's reading books about it, etc. The main reason I'm even posting this is because last night, while we were in bed, she asked me whether I'd reconsidered polyamory and asked if there was anyone in particular I'd like to bring into the relationship. I got upset because the way she asked it, it sounded like she had someone in mind already. I didn't like the idea of polyamory in the first place, let alone the idea of her already being interested in other people. She backed off immediately, but it had me feeling really suspicious. So I hate that I did it, and it's got me feeling guilty. But when she got in the shower, I went through her phone. I noticed one of her recent texts to someone said, "I miss being around you," or something like that. And after looking through the text thread, I think it's definitely Becky from the bar. The first text was from the night she went out. And for a while, they don't text super often. A lot of the texts are like updates about her progress in convincing me to be poly. It's almost creepy. There were discussions about ideas of how to bring up polyamory again, ways to put it in a more positive light without making me feel like it was being shoved down my throat, and there was even a text saying she's ovulating, so maybe it'll sound more appealing to her. It's genuinely creeping me out and has me questioning a lot about our relationship. While I don't think she's actively cheating on me, I think she's gunning for polyamory with the specific intention of being with Becky. You just said she's cheating on me with like way more words.
Yeah.
That's all you said.
She's cheating on you.
How do I go about breaking up with her? Am I overthinking this and villainizing her for an identity she wants to explore? I'm obviously lost here, and I'd like an outside perspective on how to go about this without asking people we know to avoid airing out dirty laundry. Any advice would be appreciated. And we have some comments. Girl, it's crazy that you just said, how do I break up with her? You're ready to break up with her.
As you should.
You
She's
would like to
cheating
break
on you.
up. Comment number 1, it's become obvious you're not interested in a monogamous relationship anymore. I am monogamous, so this isn't going to work, and I'm not going to hold you back. This relationship is over. A reply to that says, simple, courteous, and direct. Excellently put. Comment number 2 says, don't. She already has somebody in mind she wants to cheat with and is asking for permission. I know a few successful couples that have tried polyamory, but for everyone that works, there are 10 others that don't. Frankly, this is your cue to dump her. Comment 3 says, well, from what I can tell you of female couples, when one party brings up opening the relationship is almost always over. They just don't know it yet. Whoever brings up opening the relationship almost always has another person in mind or are already cheating. So if you're monogamous, the relationship is doomed. If you are into trying swinging or bringing in a third person, maybe, but if not, again, doomed. If she wants to be with other people one-on-one and you're not okay with that, also doomed. From what you said, it sounds like a concerted effort to convince you. Again, if you're not okay with it, then choose yourself and end things on your terms and just walk away. You deserve more from a partner. Comment 4 says, no, I wouldn't say you're overreacting. As far as I've noticed, if one party pushes for any kind of third-party involvement in a relationship, the other party doesn't want it, never ends well. I myself am interested in an open relationship. I've brought it up with my partner. He's not into it, and that I'm perfectly happy with not doing it if that means I stay with him. I would say just be honest and say that you feel pushed into this and this is not what you want, and you've stated so previously. So you want to end things, if that's what you're aiming for. Reply. Your partner isn't doing it for you in the bedroom or lacking in other qualities. Would this be a correct assumption? A reply says, no, not at all. I have a pretty different view of the whole thing. Spicy sleep has never been an emotionally connected act for me. It's about enjoying the act, and some people offer different things. I am fully satisfied in my relationship, which is why I'm also fully happy with not being in an open relationship. Reply. That's a great response. The best I've heard so far from a woman's point of view. For most men, the act itself, most of us aren't emotionally connected. We just enjoy the actual deed and trying different things with different people. Unfortunately, most of the women I've spoken to about this are either bored or they feel unappreciative by their partners, which is a very bad state of mind to be in if they're considering this lifestyle. Thank you. And there is an update. Apparently, my now ex-girlfriend is kind of nuts. She came over to my place after work about 2 hours ago, and I took some people's advice and sat her down and told her I wanted to break up. After a very long, extremely confusing conversation, she admitted the truth. The texts weren't from Becky. They were from her husband.
Wait, what?
For context, she's always told me she was a sapphic, so that was a bit out of left field. According to her, she got pregnant from her high school sweetheart and their families pressured both of them to get married. They're from a very small religious town, so a baby would have made their families social outcasts. Her pregnancy was unsuccessful at about 30 weeks, which I'll admit had me feeling very bad for her. She admitted to him a while afterwards that she thought she might be bi, and in turn, he admitted to her that he had a fetish for POC women, and she's white. The story about Becky was technically true. She met her at a bar after going out every night for like a month since she and her husband were at odds. Becky suggested polyamory after my ex told her she was married, and she went home to him with the idea. She and her husband agreed that if she could find him some women of color for them to potentially sleep with together, she could explore her bisexuality with relationships outside of the marriage in order to find and convince said women. They started sleeping with Becky, who is a black woman, and my ex started college shortly after, where she met me, a Native American. The texts were apparently from her husband's Google Voice number that he made specifically for communicating about the whole polyamory thing, so that if I or any future women she pursued checked her phone, they would only find out about her want for polyamory and not about the fact that she's married. I was confused about why we were together so long, and she never said anything about her husband. And she says that she fell in love with me right off the bat and wanted to make sure our relationship was rock solid before gently suggesting the idea. The whole situation has me feeling extremely disgusted, manipulated, and sad. As now it feels like our entire friendship was nothing but an elaborate lie.
She said,
Yeah.
I need to make sure that we're on solid ground and, we're a couple. My husband knows about this, by the way, but like, we're trying to get you into it, but we're baby stepping here. We're baby stepping you.
And we didn't, when we were going out to date OP's girlfriend, I'm talking to OP's girlfriend, did we not, maybe bring up polyamory a little sooner? Because we were doing it the whole time?
Ultimately, I kicked her out and told her to never contact me again, blocked her on everything, and deleted any trace of her off of my phone. Now I'm just here drowning my sorrows in chili and ice cream.
Wait.
What
Did I miss something? Is Becky her husband?
No. You missed, you must have missed something.
Or were we not? Okay, no,
Becky's
I was under the impression that Becky was separate from the husband.
Knew about Becky.
The number that she was reading was her husband's.
Right, I was getting confused if maybe she had been calling her husband Becky this whole time as like a ruse, or if Becky's actually another person.
Becky's an actual person.
Are we sure?
Becky is a person of color. She's a black woman that they
Right,
met
we
at the
knew
bar.
that. We learned that. You're right. The comments are throwing me off too.
Hopefully this chapter in my life is completely over and done with, and I thank you all for listening. And Thea, I used your real name. Go cry to your husband about it. If you're reading this, go F yourself. You have the intelligence of a rock. Your portfolio looks like it was done by a toddler. Your entire place smells like rat feces, and you are one of the most hot-breathed, selfish people I've ever met. You are your absolute greatest fear, unremarkable, plain, underwhelming, and disappointing. And that's the end of that story.
Wow.
But, girl, I'll tell you this. It's never as big of an own as you think it is to dunk on someone that you used to be with, because you were with them. You know what I'm saying?
I think we can give it to OP for that. That was crazy.
I got you, but it's like, but then why were you with her? I get it.
She didn't know.
I get
She
it.
was lied to for 2 years.
No, I'm saying if she's a hot breath, rat feces,
let her get it out. She's fine.
Why were you with
doubt
the queen of hot breath?
her ex is ever going to see that.
My boyfriend refused to wash his hair, and it's grossing me out.
To wash it while he's asleep.
My boyfriend stopped washing his hair about 2 years ago. Is it gross to only wash your hair twice a week with straight apple cider vinegar? He is trying to fight hair loss and read somewhere that shampoo makes it worse. He refuses to use shampoo anymore and has been that way for 2 years. By the way, this comes from user Cat Obsessed, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. His scalp does not smell good, even after so-called washing it. He wears hats all day, every day, and works in metal fabrication. His side of the sheets are stained, and his pillow, brand new, is already stained through the pillowcase. But that could just because he works in metal fabrication, or he sweats at night. Please help me get over the fact that this grosses me out. Yes, I've told him this, and he just doesn't care. Or he explains to me that it is cleaning his scalp and hair so I can get over my discomfort and just move on. We have some comments. Comment number 1. There are shampoos that support to stop hair loss.
Yeah.
Minoxidil, Hims, Nioxin. Maybe suggest that he consider using these shampoos or topical methods like Rogaine, Minoxidil, or he'll be losing a lot more than his hair if he doesn't stop being so gross. OP responds, LOL, agreed, and he uses minoxidil foam every morning and night, but I feel like it isn't working because his hair isn't clean. Comment number 2, this would be my ick. Cleanliness is important. OP responds, yeah, that's why I decided to post and ask, because I don't know if I can take it anymore. I'm super hygienic and made that clear before we made things official, and he was too. But 2 years in, switch to this. Comment number 3, apple cider vinegar? That stuff smells vicious. There's shampoo for hair loss. Wearing a hat all the time is only making his hair loss condition worse. Opie says, I told him that and he didn't believe me. F my life. Comment 4, I feel like there's something else going on here. Your boyfriend believes something he read, but but doesn't believe any other evidence. Does he have someone backing up these claims that not washing his hair will prevent hair loss? He's doing the opposite of what should be done. He's going to clog those pores up and cause a lot of scalp problems. I'm just really wondering what is behind this whole thing. Why is he so afraid that he's going to lose his hair? I would suggest that he might need to see a therapist. Thinking that he only should wash his hair once a week or once every 2 weeks would be one thing. To never wash and not recognize how gross that is indicates to me some sort of underlying issue. I can't believe you've been putting up with this for so long. Washing twice a week in and of itself isn't enough for people with short hair. If he has long hair, it might be okay. A lot of people seem to think vinegar can replace soap, and it sort of can when you're cleaning surfaces in your home, but it's not an adequate substitute for laundry detergent, and it's definitely not an adequate replacement for body wash or shampoo. So no, he's definitely not cleaning himself properly, and poor hygiene can absolutely be a deal breaker for any relationship. I hope you're not the one laundering his nasty pillowcases, but deep down, I bet you are. And I need you to know, you deserve so much better. If he's really worried about hair loss, he needs to talk to a doctor, or at least a barber, someone who knows what they're talking about. Not some quack on the internet. Yes, you can soak laundry in vinegar or use vinegar in the rinse cycle to soften and deodorize clothing, but it's not detergent. You still need detergent. OP responds, thank you. I needed to hear this. I've told him this, and he does have chronic back acne, and I've told him why, but he doesn't believe me. And yes, I wash his pillowcase, and yes, I about gag every time.
Don't wash that for him. Gross.
If it's that gross and stinky, there's no reason to be sleeping in the same bed with him, to be near his vicinity, because guess what? You smell it, everyone smells it. Everyone deals with it. I would just be embarrassed at that point. We have an update here. Hey all, thank you all for the suggestions and comments. I read them and I digested them. Firstly, we've been through a lot together. Making the solution of just leave not my first thought, because I want this to work. He's a good man that has been misled by information. I think so anyway. We had a conversation the night I posted this, and it didn't end well at all. He gave me the silent treatment after I brought it up and just said, I'll just shave my head. Over and over anytime I tried to talk to him about other options. I never said for him to shave it, but he was insisting. I'm guessing to stop it from even being a conversation. He was mad and being not nice to me at all when he did actually respond. I slept in the living room because I wanted to give him some space, and also your nose a break. In the morning, he was leaving for work and he said, bye. I said, that's all you have to say to me? Then he proceeded to say some hurtful things to me, that I only care about my own feelings, not his. And I don't want to help his problem, but to help myself. Like I said, he only cares about himself. At this point, it's showing his true colors. You have asked him to compromise, at least wash your hair maybe once a week, and he still won't do that. He doesn't care for any of your thoughts, and he's calling you selfish.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, one wash a week is not going to make this guy's hair stay around that much longer.
I would also bring up things like, again, it's hereditary.
If you're so worried, I don't know, get a hair transplant, get a
go to
wig.
Turkey. Yeah, go to Turkey, get a hair transplant. That's gonna solve it.
Just get a hair. What are they called? Toupees.
Toupee.
Just get a wig, dude.
If
Give
you're
into the baldness.
The fact that
she loves you for you, not your hair.
What's the deep root of insecurities of you going bald? Yes, it sucks. When he said that, I got extremely sad and upset because he should know me better than that. After the length of time we've been together, I told him that if that's how he views me, then why am I even here? Because that's not how I am at all. And he knows this. I think his ego was hurt. I told him that I genuinely do not think what he's doing is helping him, nor is it healthy if his hair and scalp smell. And it's also affecting me more than I'd like. I was hoping we could find something he's okay with that also makes me feel better about the situation. Then he just left for work. That night, we talked about it again. But it wasn't getting anywhere, and he refused to consider using shampoo. Fine, whatever. As long as it doesn't smell, I don't care what he uses. But it turned into another argument about my motives for the conversation again, with him saying I only cared about myself. I explained that's it about me, but also about him, about both of us. Something he's doing is bothering me to this extent, and I'd like to try and find a compromise. Like I said, he could not accept that as the truth for whatever reason, and I have always been a very honest person. At one point, I just cut him off and said, why are we even arguing about this? You need to wash your hair. It smells and it's gross. And this shouldn't even have to be more than a simple conversation. I don't care if you don't use shampoo, so long as your hair doesn't stink and would leave any residue. What are we doing? Then we sat in silence for a while. I was fuming, and he was stinking. And you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. Maybe 78 days, 79 days.
Somewhere around there.
We're got a lot of days and still counting, but there's a little bit left, honey. I mean, I think we said our
Wash
piece.
your hair.
If anyone's out there where your partner is like, yeah, there's some people who are very OCD and like, you need to do this, you need to do that. That's one thing. Like,
if people are telling you that you stink and your hygiene is bad, typically they're not being mean. It's going to take a lot for them to get to that point to tell you that. This is your girlfriend that loves you and wants to support you. Wash your dang hair, you stink.
Again, like I said earlier, comes to body odor, your breath, anything where it's just like your hygiene is not okay and someone that loves you is telling you, hey, your hygiene's not okay because I have the gall to tell you your hygiene sucks. Imagine what everyone else is saying about you, not telling it to your face. Like, yes, my friends should tell me, like, I tell people every time like they have food in their mouth or their teeth, I'm like, you got food in your teeth. And they say thank you most of the time. Like, I won't say it in a rude way. I'll be like, hey, sorry, you have food in your teeth. This guy can't, I don't know. This guy is stinky, literally and figuratively. But let's go ahead and finish up the story. After calming down, he settled on trying baking soda paste with white vinegar, as some of you had suggested. If that didn't work, he said he'd try a conditioner co-wash. I was okay with the solution, but we didn't get there without a lot of unnecessary arguing. I'm still pretty upset, but I'm letting him try to keep his word on what he said he'd do. If he doesn't, then I'll reevaluate. Thank you all again for your help and comments. They helped more than you think, and we have a second update.
Oh my god.
Do you think it's gonna be stinkier now? Do you think it's gonna get
honestly,
any better?
with that mix, who knows? He's gonna, don't you, if you mix his baking soda?
Yeah.
Freaking volcano on his head?
I don't know.
Isn't that what you use
I don't
for
know.
the volcanoes?
This guy's definitely making his hair worse.
That's what you use for the making the volcanoes.
He's making his hair, his scalp so much worse than it should be
his
better.
head's gonna fluff up.
I put some product in my hair, like oil and like some stuff to
you
like
have curly hair.
curly. Yeah, exactly.
You take care of your curly hair.
Yeah, I don't. This guy.
is
This guy.
different.
I need this. You also need, because this guy's never talked to like an actual professional. It seems like he's like, I read this on the internet, and that's like the best thing to do.
Dude, go get your hair checked out. Wash your hair.
Yeah, this sounds exhausting. Update 4 months later. Oh wow. I broke up with him last night.
Oh wow.
I couldn't take this problem anymore, along with many, many others. I deserve someone who will wash their hair and not be a blowout fight. Thank you to everyone who commented. I'm going to focus on myself and try to have fun with my life as I haven't in 5 years.
Wow.
Thank you. Wow.
Wow.
That's
good for
crazy.
you.
Yeah. Now he's gonna lose his hair, and he lost you.
And he stinks.
And he stinks. He's probably. I guarantee you, after he goes bald, he's gonna be like, I'm still gonna I'm not gonna wash it. Apple cider vinegar.
He's probably not going to put anything on it. He's just going to be like, it's skin.
What a stinky man.
My friend was caught stealing from me, so I filed a police report.
You can't do that.
We were out to dinner one night at an expensive hotel. My boyfriend let me borrow his Canon G7X 1800 camera to take pictures with my friends. At the conclusion of the dinner, I went up to the room and realized that the camera was gone.
Uh-oh.
It's a big thing to smuggle. I went back right down to the table and no one had seen it. By the way, this comes from Zealous Ideal Ear 7529. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. So we're just going to guess what we would do in this situation. Let us know what you would do in the comments. So OP says, I immediately got with hotel security and she is on video, clear as day, swiping the camera when my back was turned and shoving it in her purse.
Tisk, tisk,
Whoa.
tisk.
I covered for her initially with my friend and contacted her to find a resolution. She had taken the camera with her and my other friends to a club after dinner, which I did not attend, and she lost it there. Oh my gosh.
So first she stole it and then got it stolen?
Yeah. For background, this is my good college friend who I know well, the camera thief. She has been taken on free trips to Coachella and St. Barth's on my dime, not kidding, as well as many other things. We have done a lot together and are good friends, so I expected her to feel sorry. Initially, she lied, saying that she did not have it. When I told her we had a video, she confessed and then said yes, she took it, but lost it at the next bar that she went to with my other friends. It is now gone. I asked her to help me replace it by going in on me with the cost.
She has refused all measures or resolutions, and now I feel like I have nothing left to do but file a police report and let them handle it.
Yeah, this is not your friend. I'm sorry. The fact that you even said we can go in on it together.
Yeah, honestly.
She should be paying for the whole thing.
Totally.
This is not like a lamp that she broke in your house. This is a camera that's very expensive.
Yeah. It is impacting my relationship, and I'm furious that my friend is not helping at all. Why should I be on the hook for something that she stole? I have given her 3 weeks to help me resolve this, but she insists that she's going to do nothing. I am being pressed by my boyfriend to either replace the camera or help him file a report with her info in the footage. Yeah, because it's his camera.
Yeah.
She's borrowing it from him.
Yeah.
I even asked her to just throw in half or less than half the cost to help, but she still refuses. I do not want her to get in trouble, but I'm at the point where I feel like she really doesn't care. So am I the a-hole? And there are some comments, but what is your answer?
I feel like you would be the a-hole if you didn't press charges if she's not paying.
Yeah.
Again, this isn't your camera.
Right. Yeah, you're definitely not the a-hole. Get that camera back.
Get that camera.
So verdict from the comments are not the a-hole, but commenter number 1 says you are the a-hole. Is there a reason that you are choosing your thieving friend over your boyfriend? She's made it clear that she's not your friend and that she's not going to make this right. The police report should have been filed the moment she said she wasn't going to pay for it. If I were your boyfriend, I would be reconsidering the relationship with you over this. You're really dragging your feet to make this right. Get the report made and replace his camera. Opie says, this is how I'm starting to feel. You are right, and thank you for the honest words. I just hate to get anyone in trouble. I think I may be the a-hole because if I wanted to, I could have paid out of pocket and resolved it for everyone. That's not why you're the a-hole. It's not your responsibility.
I think that commenter is a little bit harsh. I just said you would be. But that's just to get the ball rolling. I don't think you are the a-hole. I think you just don't want to get your friend in trouble.
Right. Commenter number 2 says, you are the a-hole. Not even sure why you're asking. I have rarely seen a post with more a-hole-ish behavior on here.
Okay, well, you haven't read a lot of posts.
Yeah, we've seen a lot. You are an a-hole to your boyfriend. Kind guy trusted you with something valuable, and you're not even giving him all the information you have after it got swiped. You brought your a-hole friend to this dinner. You are an a-hole for not filing a report. You are an a-hole to yourself for not holding this effing friend accountable. What the heck do you mean throwing in half? Get your head out of your butt and go file a report. Make sure your boyfriend is made whole. Be utterly embarrassed with your own behavior here and do better next time. Yikes, that's a harsh
comment.
I don't disagree that she should be doing those things, but it's just a very harsh way to say it.
Yeah.
Opie says, I know. I just didn't want to get her in trouble. I feel like I could have paid for it myself and resolved for everyone. She is also in our friend group we have had forever, and it will cause ripples. Opie clarifies on the location of the security cameras after realizing his boyfriend's camera was missing once Opie went up to his room. Opie says, wrong. I went up to my room where my boyfriend was. He asked where his camera was. I went right down to the salon where we were eating and it was gone, so no staff had seen it after clearing our table. This is what prompted me to have security check the cameras, which they had in the dining room. Additional information from OP after reading some comments. OP says, I feel guilty because I gave her time to fix it and she made me look like an idiot. I also feel guilty because I know if I could swing it right now, I would have replaced it myself. I just cannot at this moment to buy a $2,000 camera. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's also, she can get in a lot of trouble for that.
Yeah. I sent her a text this morning telling her if I do not receive the full cost of the camera or shipping confirmation of a new camera from an approved vendor to provided address by the end of the day, Friday, we will be filing a report with the police on Saturday morning. I felt like an a-hole typing this out to her, but I have to do it. And there are some comments. Commenter number 1 says, why would you even borrow this camera to begin with? A G7X is a glorified point-and-shoot camera at the cost of $1,800. Why wouldn't you just use your cell phone? I know this isn't the point, but you borrowed something expensive and then lost it around people you can't trust, and it wasn't something you even needed to use. OP says, yes, you're right. In my defense, I borrowed it from the hotel room we were in to meet them at the hotel restaurant. I never intended to leave property with it. Boyfriend stayed in the room upstairs when I went to meet the friends. I was thinking I could take a few pics on it and bring it back upstairs when I was done. Commenter number 2 says, wow, your update makes you even more of an a-hole. These comments are so harsh.
Oh, jeez.
Just go to the police station and file a report.
That's what Opie's doing.
Yeah. You are going to keep giving her a line to hang out with you. Don't be surprised when your boyfriend dumps you after he is made whole for the cost of the camera. Oh my gosh. Opie says, I did that because I had a feeling it would be resolved if I made it clear that action would be taken, one way or the other. Commenter number 3 says, my take is that the friend stole the camera because she wanted it, not just to take a few extra pics, after OP went home as she claimed. She didn't lose it, as she first claimed. In my opinion, she still has it, even after all the drama that's already happened. Police is what that girl deserves and needs. That's actually a good point.
Good point.
I didn't even think about that.
Still have it.
That's so possible. 'Cause there was actually another story that we read where someone took like a purse to somewhere and was like, oh, I lost it. And then it turns out it was like in her bag, in her suitcase.
So maybe she didn't lose it.
Yep. Opie says, this is starting to feel what it is. I do not know if you are familiar, but this camera, even at full price, is out of stock. Oh, wow. Girls covet it because it is known as the best Instagram camera. I think she took it and hoped I would replace it. Oh my God. On the opinion that Opie should be making this up to her boyfriend, Opie says, I bought him some golden goose shoes, dinner, and some clothes. I feel awful. I am glad this happened. I am done being used by my friends. And we do have a second update. This is the same day, but just 3 hours later from the last update. She told me that she is sick of me and that I will be receiving a tracking number by 12 Eastern on Friday, and not to blame her if the package is never received. Okay, that's not a great way to start out that promise.
It's just like, I'm getting you your freaking camera.
Yeah.
It might not come, though.
Yeah, I'm giving you a confirmation number, but I'm going to cancel it before it comes. Like, what? I told her if she was my real friend, she would be sorry, and in no way will I allow this to be flipped on me. Should I ask if the camera is new or the one that, quote, disappeared? And we do have a third update, which is the next day.
I wonder if it's going to be the same camera.
Yeah. Honestly, like, I feel like you shouldn't even get a confirmation number. I feel like you should order it and just ask for her card info at this point.
But
like,
the thing is, I don't know if she would actually give that, you know?
She probably wouldn't, because that could be sketchy to like share that info with anyone, even if it's your friend. But like, I just feel like she would cancel it, and I want OP to not have or to make sure that she can't cancel the order.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Anyway, update number 3. This is the next day. So she sent me a tracking number via FedEx. It says that it is awaiting the package. I've asked her repeatedly if she is sending me the original camera, assuming it magically turned up, or a new one. She refuses to answer and only tells me to stop bothering her. And by the way, I hope you never stop bothering us by listening to full episodes of stories just like this one. Just go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime. And there is a little bit more to this story.
Yeah, bad friend.
Bad
boo,
friend.
Boo, boo.
Yeah. We do have a fourth update. This is the same day, 10 hours later. OP is on it.
Yeah, thank you.
I am more and more convinced that my friend, the camera thief, took the camera hoping that I would just replace it for my boyfriend, gifting her a free camera. For background, this friend is heavily involved on Instagram and loves taking pictures. The Canon G7 is coveted by women because it is known as the Instagram camera. Even if you wanted to buy one at full price, they are out of stock everywhere. Let's hope it gets returned with this tracking. FedEx still says they're awaiting the package, even though shipping info was sent to them at 7 p.m. yesterday. And we have an update number 5. This is 5 days later.
Dude, I hope you get this camera.
Me too. Also, it would be so stupid if she like actually kept it for herself, because then she would post pictures of using the camera.
Yeah, to be like, those are really nice pictures.
Right. So now, update number 4. This is 5 days later. Original camera returned via FedEx the other day. Okay.
Well. I thought you lost that camera.
It has been given back to the boyfriend. However, the camera thief blocked me on all socials after this.
Good, honestly.
Yeah. It appeared that she was trying to keep the camera for herself and expected me to just buy a new one for the boyfriend. Yep. Seems like what it was.
Yes, sirree.
Well, I'm glad it worked. Not glad that all those comments were so harsh.
Yeah, man, you're not the a-hole. And also, would you have gotten that camera back if you had filed the, in the same condition?
Right.
It seems like
True.
your way worked.
Yeah, absolutely. You I did exactly what you should and what the commenters were suggesting. Like, yeah, you just threatened her with the police report and then she fixes it. I feel like that
There you
usually
go.
helps with small matters as this.
Also, like, the police report takes so long and
Yeah,
just not all. It doesn't always go anywhere. So
Right.
this worked out.
it works out well. So good job. Glad you don't have that friend anymore because she sucks.
My boyfriend's trained dog lunged at me, so I gave him an ultimatum.
Did he like do like an Olympic style like squat lunge? Like,
Firstly, I love dogs. I love animals as a whole, but my safety comes before them. My boyfriend and I have been living together for 7 months. When we met, he lived alone in an apartment with a 5-year-old male Belgian Malinois. Malinois?
Belgian Malinois.
Malinois.
Those are the police dogs.
Oh.
Those are like, have you ever seen videos of dogs like running up a wall and like jumping off of it backwards?
Yeah.
Those are Belgian
ones?
Malinois.
Cute, dude. For those of you who don't know this breed, it's the police dog used in canine units. Nice. By the way, this comes from The Water Daughter, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in the situation, so let us know what you would do in the comments. So, OP says, when my boyfriend brought up the idea of living together, I was concerned about having such a large dog who apparently was trained to attack and be a guard dog. He told me he used to live in an area where he was burglarized twice and got the dog for protection, training him to be ruthless. I was obviously uncomfortable with this information. I told him the dog would need to be in his cage inside my apartment until he got used to me. He agreed and moved on. Since then, I've been feeding the dog on my own in the mornings, allowing him to smell me and giving him a sit command before opening his cage. He has not shown me any aggression. He's walked several times a day, but I know keeping this kind of dog in a cage is not ideal. We planned to purchase a home together with a yard so he could roam free, but with unfortunate financial burdens, we had to postpone those plans. This past weekend, I was on my balcony when my boyfriend said he was going to bring the dog out to get air. I was fine with this. I decided to go inside to grab a blanket when the dog came out of the cage and charged at me. My back was turned when he lunged at my booty cheeks. When I screamed, he let go and bit down again. Oh my gosh. It happened so fast. I was in shock.
He goes straight for the butt.
He went straight for the booty cheeks.
What did your butt say?
My boyfriend grabbed him and put him back in the cage to come to my aid. I was in such shock that I didn't realize that I was still screaming. My boyfriend rushed me to the ER, and when I got into the bed, I said to him, "You either move out and take your dog with you or give him up. It's either me or him." He was absolutely apologetic, in shock too, and even cried. He kept repeating that no one was going to take the dog because of the aggression, and he didn't want to put him down either. I reminded him that we want a family one day, and I will not be in a home with my children scared for their safety and mine. We need a family dog that's good with people, especially kids. What if it was my face that the dog attacked? What if it was his child? All of this happened 4 days before my 35th birthday, and I'm devastated. Am I the a-hole? And we do have some comments. But yeah, I think you were spot on with it just being straight up aggression and no training whatsoever.
You're not the a-hole. That's just where you got bit.
That's right. Hey. Yeah, no, I don't think you're the a-hole. I mean, I think, like, obviously we always say, like, ultimatums are not good and whatever, and, like, you don't want to do me or him kind of stuff, but I totally understand being, like, you being in that situation and being so upset because your booty cheeks just got chowed down on, and you didn't want that to happen, and you were just in all of that shock and everything. Like, I'm not gonna, like, hold that against you because of the situation.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're the a-hole.
Yeah.
But we do have some comments. Comment number 1 says, he is the a-hole to you and to the dog. He did a disservice for training aggression without knowing how to control it, temper it, and provide living conditions suitable for the dog. Look up Malinois rescues. Some will work with aggression and provide training with the goal of fostering an adoption. Comment number 2 says, I don't get it. My Great Dane is an absolute sweetie pie, but one day I let him out and coincidentally, the plumber arrived. My dog came back inside and saw a man just suddenly there. Hackles went up, and the lowest, meanest sounding growl came from him, but he didn't charge, just tried to move between me and the plumber. I swear we both almost wet ourselves. But then all I did was pat the plumber on the arm, an ear back up, fur down, and tail wagging because he had a new friend. I don't think we need to train aggression into dogs. They have an instinct to protect that usually is good enough. I certainly have never tried to train for aggression. I'd rather be robbed than have my dog pew-pew. But apparently he's down to protect me even without any instruction. A growling 100+ pound Great Dane is pretty intimidating, but I still would rather have all my stuff taken than my dog pass away. I can get more stuff. Someone else responds, quote, training might be an exaggeration on the part of OP's boyfriend. He doesn't sound like he's conducted any formal training at all. I've worked with Malinois, and they're naturally, well, a lot. One of them fractured a bone and lost a tooth from playing too excitedly. This dog has probably never been taught any restrictions. And there is an edit. There's an edit from OP. Some of you guys are pissing me off. To clarify, I did not give my boyfriend the ultimatum to either euthanize his dog or be with me. I said you either move out with your dog or give him up. I would never encourage putting the dog to sleep. I'm the victim here, and I'm the one telling my boyfriend that the dog needs to be rehomed with professionals who can retrain him. And we do have an update.
Classic internet move. Happened to me earlier today. People hear you say one thing and they're like, oh, so you just want to put the dog down.
Yeah, because they're probably getting it from like the boyfriend saying like, no, the only option is to like you. No one will take it because you're all aggressive. But it's like, first of all, that boyfriend said that. Second of all, that's not the only option.
And you can just move out. You can just like take the dog with you and move.
There's other options. So back off.
That dog would do good on a farm. I guarantee you people would take that dog on a farm.
Totally. We do have an update. I surely did not expect the overwhelming responses to my story. I can't keep up with 500+ comments, but I want to update you with more specifics for those who are asking questions. My wounds are extremely black and blue, as you can imagine. No required, but I'm on antibiotics for 7 days. The dog has all his. I said previously that my boyfriend, quote, trained him to attack and be a guard dog. I should have been more mindful about this not being the correct way to describe it. To clarify, no, the dog is not professionally trained. My boyfriend, while incredibly irresponsible and selfish for raising him this way, I agree 1000%, has acknowledged many times how he's failed his dog and made poor decisions. He's been trying to correct it. He showers the dog with love and constantly plays with him. My boyfriend is not a monster, but yes, an a-hole for his past mistakes. While I'm at work, boyfriend works remotely, the dog is roaming the living room within supervision. The dog is not in the cage all day long. I work in healthcare and am gone usually 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. When he's in his cage, he is not territorial or aggressive for those asking, unless someone knocks on the door. He's not aggressive with his food. My boyfriend constantly puts his hands in his bowl. Apparently he's been doing this since the dog was a puppy, and he doesn't react. I, however, would not and will not ever do that. I understand he trusts his owner 1000% and no one else. When he moved in 7 months ago, I encouraged him to get a shock collar because the dog would not listen. He would bark at other dogs and people, pull hard on the leash, and bark at company. He is very alert and jumpy, moving quickly. With training, using the vibration, he stops usually, but he's shocked when absolutely necessary. He has shown improvement. Just to point out, I don't touch that remote at all. Boyfriend uses it only. The day the incident happened, I had been socializing with him in the morning. The dog let me pet him. He smelled my hand first, then licked me. I took off his shock collar and fed him. My boyfriend was asleep during this time. I now realize how incredibly dangerous that was, but again, zero aggression. So the blanket situation. When the dog bit me, I did not have the blanket in my hands yet. It was a throw blanket that I have on my sofa. I was facing the sofa and my back was to the dog. However, I did have fuzzy pink shorts on, but I'm not sure how that could be a trigger. According to my boyfriend, the dog was excited when he came out of the cage. Since we had been socializing, my boyfriend thought it would be okay to let him out, and he asked first. I was okay with it because of the good behavior. I said in my story that the dog charged at me because I felt the force when he went mouth first onto my booty. Before biting, he seemed to sniff.
I'm sorry.
I do the same thing.
That is just the funniest way that could have been said.
I felt the force when he went mouth first onto my butt. That's what it says.
Mouth first on my booty.
Before biting, he seemed to sniff quickly first, which my boyfriend said didn't seem alarming, but obviously he bit unprovoked. There was no growl, no bark, nothing. He bit down, letting go briefly, then bit down again.
Yeah,
Clearly, this is not playful or excitement.
No.
If I have holes in my butt leaking blood. I gave my ultimatum out of fear, pain, and anger. My boyfriend did not choose the dog over me. He took accountability, took care of me, and apologized. He agreed to find a home for the dog with someone who knew how to train this kind of breed, but sincerely begged for another chance. I want to give the dog another chance because he has shown improvement in the last 7 months, and I don't blame the dog, I blame my man. And clearly, I'm simply fearful and traumatized. And clearly, we simply have full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever favorite podcast app you like. We just search OK Storytime and we'll be there.
Yep.
We'll be there. There is a little bit more. But yeah, I think that's good that they're acknowledging that it's like fully the training. Like it's, you can't just make your dog be aggressive and be like, yeah, it's just gonna attack everyone.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna have people in your life and you're not just like a lonesome traveler roaming around the world, you're gonna want that dog to be okay with the people that you're okay with.
Yeah.
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 But there is a little bit more to this story. We agreed that he will have a muzzle on when socializing with me and others, and of course on walks. He will be getting neutered ASAP. He'll have more outside time than what he previously had. My boyfriend is putting together some money to get him trained professionally since he, as we know, cannot do this on his own. Hoping we can get our house sooner than later so he can roam the yard as well. I would prefer to give him a second chance with professional help over anything else. At the end of the day, I do love my boyfriend and the dog regardless. This is a wake-up call for him. Unfortunately, I was hurt in the process, but my guards are now up high with stronger precautions and boundaries. I am praying hard that he can be rehabilitated. And I hope to God that I don't regret this. And that is the end of that story.
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes a lot more sense, too, that the dog's not neutered.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's like that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I was surprised by that. He's 5 years old. He has all his, but he's not neutered? That's strange.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
I feel like you do that when they were little babies.
Yeah. Usually.
But
They're young.
I digress. I hope that helps.
My boyfriend is jealous that I have another girlfriend, but he has another one too.
Do you guys have an open relationship?
I, 22 female, am in a poly relationship
Okay.
with my boyfriend, John, 23 male, of 2 years. I'll start by saying that I am an A-spec identity woman, and I made it clear to my boyfriend before we started dating. It was a bit hard because he had a very old school upbringing, but he accepted it. He has a low spicy sleep drive, so it's not that much of an issue. By the way, this comes from Manalita 15, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give you some good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We would just tell you what we would do in this situation, so we want to know what you do in the comments. As OP says, I've always been interested in poly relationships, and when he broached the topic, I was happy to agree to try it. Long story short, he found a girlfriend, Sarah, 23 female, who I actually like. I wouldn't say we're going to be best friends, but she isn't someone I feel uncomfortable around, and it's been mostly okay. John looks happy, he has more motivation, and he talks all the time about how much of a good idea this was. I haven't had a lot of luck, though. My asexuality has blocked a lot of possible relationships, and I've been studying like crazy, so I barely had time to sleep. I'm part of a couple of A-spec identity online communities and started talking to a girl, Mary, 23 female. And we really hit it off. We're both ace, have a lot of common interests, and she's funny as heck. A couple of my friends have met her, and everyone says we're perfect together. I wanted to introduce her to John just for the record. I talked to Mary, and she's interested in me too. I wanted to tell him in person, so I told him to come earlier. He got there late, and Mary arrived before him, so I decided to let him meet her before everything. He really liked her and was singing her praises afterward. When I got home, he came with me. I told him I really liked her and could see us dating. He went really quiet and I got anxious. He then started telling me that he thought this wasn't a good idea, that I didn't know what I was doing, that she wasn't that funny,
And as I quote, she's not even pretty. I'm not proud of it, but I lost it. I told him to get out of my house and that a poly relationship wasn't just for his benefit. The next day, Sarah called me and said she wanted my side of the story. Apparently, I was crazy, wanted to move out with a girl I met once, and that he thought she was a heavy drinker? Question mark, question mark. I explained everything to her, and she went to talk to him. First, he said I lied but got caught. Then he changed his tune and said that she must have misunderstood. In short, she's angry and I'm angrier. Yesterday, he sent me a message admitting that he was wrong and that he had a very traditional upbringing, which came out with a very sexist idea. He didn't like his woman with another person, and he was sorry. I don't know. I felt hurt, angry, and I can't shake the feeling that he thought I'd never get anyone. He did seem to regret what he said, though. What should I do? Personally, I would be pissed off at the lies, too. I'd make it clear that isn't acceptable. Only you can figure out what you should do. The biggest thing to do, I would think, is communicate. It sounds like he wants to be poly while he wants you to be monogamous. That doesn't sound like something you are interested in which case, it wouldn't be a good idea to do it just to make him happy. Make it clear to him that you will be seeing other people and having other relationships. If he can't handle that, then you will have to figure out if what he wants will work for you or not. Regardless of how he was raised, he is an adult now and can make his own decisions and his own beliefs. How he was raised doesn't excuse his behavior. If you like this girl and she likes you and you think something could develop, I would pursue it. And OP responds, I definitely don't want to be monogamous and him being poly. I'll text him and ask to have a conversation face to face maybe next week. He did sound truly regretful and I will talk about his lies. We'll see. There is another comment that says, you were right to lose it at him. He doesn't respect your decisions and he's not supportive. While his input can be valuable if he presents and supports it well, his behavior is BS. He doesn't get to decide who you date, and he certainly doesn't get to insult that person. Honestly, true. He's a liar and a manipulator. Insulting and lying about you to someone else is emotional abuse. No amount of traditional upbringing makes up for any of that, let alone the misogyny, or even the basic respect for your autonomy and decision-making abilities. Regret isn't enough, even if it is sincere in the moment. The only thing that matters is that he immediately changes for the better. No excuses, no BS. He needs to never effing do any of this again and instead be actively supportive of you. You need to have not just a talk with him, but a talk with Sarah independently of him. All you need to read up on emotional manipulation and techniques so that you can actively label those things when you see them. And if he does anything like this ever again, you all need to effing leave because you are all in danger. Personally, I'd throw his butt right out the gosh darn door. Do not tolerate or make excuses for abuse. Don't wait for him to hit you or worse. That is pretty intense. But honestly, it's a good, it's
something
hard
to
truth.
be aware of always.
Yeah, it's a hard truth, hard reality. And I'm guessing that person probably went through very tragic situation. So, but it is true. And sometimes you need the hard truth in order to wake up and realize okay, you're right. Because I would hate to see that it happens too late and then something really did happen that has changed you and, negative, whatnot. But OP did respond. I'll talk to him next week and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm leaning more toward breaking up. Good. I've been talking more to Sarah since this blew up and she's pretty mad. She's going to her hometown this weekend, so they won't be able to see each other. I'll keep her updated. The update. 1 week later.
Okay.
I asked if we could talk on Tuesday since I didn't have class the next day. He agreed and we decided to meet up at his apartment after classes by the end of the day. I texted Sarah to let her know I'd be talking to him about the situation and she asked me to call her after. I wasn't sure I'd like to talk right after, but said I'd text her if I wanted to be alone or in silence. I talked to a friend who lives close by to see if we could hang out after the talk because this kind of thing always shoots my anxiety through the roof, and having someone I trust around helps a lot. I got to his house, and even before I could say anything, he started to apologize. At first, it seemed okay, but then he said something like, oh, I was being really stupid worrying about you in another relationship. You won't have spicy sleep anyways, and besides, she's a girl, so it doesn't count. I asked what the F he meant by that, and he said that he didn't have a problem with girls having spicy sleep, but that it showed they didn't respect themselves and you couldn't really take a relationship with someone like that seriously. But that I didn't have to worry because I was pure and a real woman and whatnot. I was furious. Did he actually think this was right or that it would make me happy? But instead I asked, but what about Sarah? He answered, oh, she's not seeing anyone else right now. I said something like, what if she was? You're in a poly relationship. She might fall in love with another man and they might have spicy sleep. At this point, I was completely sure I'd be breaking up, but what he said after made me lose a portion of my faith in humanity. He said, I like Sarah, but everyone knows she's not a girl to get married to. I mean, not even her parents wanted her. She's adopted. What? I mean, crazy response. Why would you respond that way?
I hope you turned around and walked away immediately. This man is scum of the earth.
Like, he literally, like, you just came to talk about this, like, you know, situation. He's like, well, it's all about me and my needs. And like, I don't even know what he's apologizing for, honestly. Like, why did he apologize? Because he's obviously not sorry about anything that he said or is doing.
You also, at this point, I'm like, don't tell Sarah exactly what he said, but highly imply that it is not good for her to stay with this man either.
Yeah.
You can maybe say what he said to you, or like a vague thing about what he implied about her. Like, maybe the, like, she's not a girl to marry part, I'd leave out the adoption part.
Yeah.
Because I think that might hurt her a bit, but that's your call.
Yeah, because who literally says that?
Who says that about someone that they're with, especially?
Not even the parents. Like, I mean, that is not at any, like, you don't know anything. This man acts like he knows. Like, you know nothing.
Leave this.
To make these assumptions is ridiculous. Anyways, what the F?
Yeah.
I was speechless. I don't know if he thought my silence meant I agreed with him, but he kept talking. You know, she even got adopted by another couple and they sent her back. This all just shows there's something wrong with her. I like having fun with her, but I'd never even think about spending the rest of my life with someone like that. At this point, I said I was done.
Thank God.
I told him he was the most disgusting person I'd ever seen and that he was the lowest human I'd ever talked to.
Good.
He then tried to stop me from leaving, but I made it clear that if he didn't let me leave, I'd F him up so much his grandsons would feel it. LOL. He let me leave. I cried the entire walk to my friend's place, which freaked her out since I almost never cry. Oh, Opie. We opened a bottle of vodka and ate the curry she made. I love this girl, LOL. And I cried a lot. Well, guess who called? I'd forgotten to text Sarah and she got worried. So I was crying my heart out, half a bottle of vodka in, and talking to her. I said it all. Oh. I don't really remember what she said, but I knew things were bad. I woke up, went home, showered and ate, slept a lifetime, woke up to my phone ringing. Sarah was calling. Apparently, she was furious and left her hometown on Wednesday. She was supposed to stay until Easter and went to John's house. It was apparently a crap show. At first, he tried to deny it, but got caught in his own lies. Then he tried to justify, like, what the F? Finally, she broke up and left. But we will never break up and leave you, because you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, your favorite podcast app, and search OK Storytime. There is another relevant update, but...
Well, you know, maybe not the best time or way to tell Sarah, but I'm very glad she found out, and I'm very glad that she also got out of there.
Right.
Because that just was the worst possible things to say about someone who seems very sweet. Like, Sarah seems like a sweetheart.
Right? Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, no, she's this. Whoa, where did that come from? Like, then what are you doing with her? Like, that's what I don't get. If you don't like, you can talk all this crap on this person, yet you're still choosing to be in this.
Right.
So
you are stringing her along.
What does that say about you? Like, that is horrible to do to someone.
Rappy boyfriend.
Like,
who got double dumped.
Literally double dumped. I hate him. Anyway, let's see this update. Turns out she went home and realized she forgot her key at her parents' home and her roommate was traveling. She called me and I invited her to spend the night. We opened a bottle of wine and ordered some pizza. So there's that. Sarah is okay, as fine as someone could be. She went back to her hometown. John is effed because Sarah's family is very influential in the area he intended to work in, and I'm fine, I guess. Pretty much shocked, and I'm not sure if it has sunk in yet. So yeah, have been better, have been worse. And that is the end of that story. My boyfriend won't let me go on a friend's trip because he thinks I'll cheat.
Ooh, boyfriend insecurity showing.
I, female 27, have been with my boyfriend Richard, male 39, for 5 years. We live together. We both work, we hardly ever argue, and we have a nice, quiet life. By the way, this comes from Most Stable 2853. And if you want to submit your stories, you can go to the OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I'm Carly.
And we are here to give you some good advice goofily, but obviously we don't have all the answers. We would just say what we would do in this situation, but we would love to know what you would do in the comments. As OP says, when I was in university, I had a group of friends, both male and female, that I used to do a lot of activities with. We would go hiking, snowboarding, and traveling together. There was nothing romantic going on. After graduation, a few of them moved away, and I met Richard, so we stopped hanging out. Recently, I got an email from one of my friends from that group who is organizing a reunion. I have been invited to join them on a trip to Whistler. We will be snowboarding, dining, sightseeing, and visiting Vancouver since they are renting a car. Richard hates these people, so I knew he would say no if I asked him to join. I asked anyway, and as expected, he declined. I told him no worries since I anticipated his response and I figured I would just go alone. However, he got upset and said, "You are not in college anymore and your partying days are over. You are not going on a F trip with a bunch of wasted frat boys." I showed him the email with the itinerary, but he rolled his eyes and said, "You are all going to end up cheating. Who are you kidding?" Then he asked if the guys were married and whether their wives were coming. I told him I did not really know and that it did not matter. He responded, "You are not going and that is the end of it." I feel so sad. I do not want to email my friends and say I cannot come, but I also do not want to make my boyfriend uncomfortable. Am I an a-hole for really wanting to go on this trip? Here's some comments. He's your boyfriend, not your master. He does not get to dictate where you go or what you do. Implying that you plan to cheat on him is incredibly disrespectful.
Yeah.
Unless you've cheated on him before, he has no reason to insult your morals like this. I wouldn't stay with someone who spoke to me like this or attempted to control me like this. You aren't wrong, and it's time to plan your exit from this relationship. OP says, I have never, ever given him any reason to think like this. I have never cheated on him, ever. A few questions. 1. Will you be the only female at the reunion? If not, how many females? 2. Is there anyone in the friend group you have any history with, relationship/hookup? 3. He called it an F trip. Have your past trips been just having fun and casual hookups? Everyone in the comments will be quick to call him controlling or insecure, but most won't even stop to ask for context and get the full picture. I'm sure that dude whose wife cheated on him with her patients would have been called controlling and insecure if he didn't want his wife to go on that trip. OP responds, no, 3 girls, 4 guys if everyone shows. I did invite him to join us, but he said no. That's why I said, then I'll go alone. Update 17 hours later, not even a full day. Uh-oh, strap in. I keep getting asked the same questions over and over in DMs or comments, so instead of repeating myself, here you go. No, you can't come on the trip instead of my boyfriend. Please stop DMing me about it. If you keep asking, I will block you. Why hasn't he proposed yet? Because he will do it when he's ready. Right now, he's focused on buying a bigger place. Do I work or does he pay for my expenses? I work and we split house expenses 50-50. I pay half of his current mortgage. No, he is not my ATM, and I am paying for the trip myself. Why does he hate my group of friends? He thinks they're dumb and annoying. He came out for drinks with us once when we first met and said afterwards that he couldn't stand them. They're very chatty and extroverted, while he is quiet, introverted, and hates loud noises. Are other people bringing their spouses? I asked the organizer and she confirmed that everyone is except one girl and 2 single guys. Is my boyfriend invited? Of course. But he said hard pass because 3 days with these annoying people would be torture for him. He told me, "You're better than these loud idiots. You've matured. Why are you still hanging out with them?" First of all, you met them 5 years ago, so they might, obviously people don't change that much, but maybe in the 5 years, might have done some growing up.
Right, you're like, they were really immature in their early 20s.
Yeah, they're really immature in college. All right. I
Cool.
could have told you that. I think that's just a fact.
Yeah.
Okay. I texted him saying I wanted to talk, and he said, if it's about the trip, there's nothing to talk about. I replied, no, it's about us. And he never responded. He hasn't spoken to me since our argument. Does my boyfriend have some infidelity trauma? I have no idea. He had a long-term ex before me who is now happily married. They broke up because she met someone else. I'm not sure if it was an affair or if she simply ended things with him to be with the new guy. That's all I know. Why am I low contact LC with my family? I'm LC with my parents because my dad never stands up for me when my mom is being awful to me. One example was at their anniversary dinner when my mom made a toast in front of everyone about how they were blessed to have a wonderful son, my brother, and then pushed their luck by having me. She said, we should have stopped while we were ahead. When I confronted my dad, he dismissed it as a joke. Later, my mom doubled down, saying, the truth hurts. You've been an underachieving disappointment your whole life. All right, well, now I hate her.
Woo.
Now I understand.
And that's why we went low contact. Surprised
Yep.
we didn't go no contact.
Yeah. I'll talk to him later today. At this point, I'm more hurt that he assumed I would cheat. It's not even about the trip anymore. And there are some comments. I'm curious to know who does the cooking and chores. Glad you have your own money. Your boyfriend is showing you very bad character to question your integrity. OP responds, he loves cooking and does it all the time. I have OCD, so I do all the cleaning. Grocery shopping and other stuff we do together. They also responded, you pay half his mortgage, so he's using you. And what he said about your friends, he's a major knucklehead. Dump him and go on the trip. OP responds, it's actually much cheaper than what my rent used to be when I was living alone. They also responded, okay, will he ever put your name on the deed for the place you're paying for? OP responds, no, because he paid the down payment, so it's his house that I moved in. They respond, but you're paying half the mortgage? Do you have a landlord/tenancy agreement? If not, you are paying for his assets. He's using you as an ATM. OP responds, no, I do not have any written contract, verbal agreement only. Update 2. Here we go. Richard and I talked last night. He broke up with me. I told him I was hurt, that he assumed I'd cheat on him. He said he was disappointed that I didn't respect his boundaries and chose the trip instead. Then he hit me with, I thought you were a mature, smart woman, but you are still a silly, immature little girl. Oh, and apparently I'm not wife material. By the way, we're going to give you some listening material. Just like this, with full stories, you can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. And then you'll see our lovely faces. There is another relevant update, but what do we have?
Stay broken up.
Yeah.
He sounds awful, and now that he's been called out and you've actually done something that he really doesn't like and he thinks that he can finally control or whatever, he's spiraling. He's throwing anything he can out there. Terrible.
Yeah, he thinks that he won, and honestly, you won out of this.
You won by not having to date this man anymore.
Yeah, you won by him letting you go.
Go snowboard.
He did go snowboarding with your friends, and then you could talk about how all of this happened, and your friends 100% will agree that you did the right thing.
Yeah.
So, it's a loss for him, really, not for you. You get to go hang out with your friends while he gets to sit there alone. Oh, no. Darn, he did it to himself. What do you do?
Unfortunately, you're probably going to have to find a place to live.
That's the tricky part.
That's the real trick.
And I'm sure this update will tell us a little bit about that.
Let's hear it.
He also said he wanted me out of his place ASAP, and even threw in a snarky comment. Technically, your name isn't on the deed. You're just a house guest. I would punt you out right now. I was like, wow, after 5 years, you're really kicking me out in a snowstorm? We had over 30 centimeters of snow yesterday. Luckily, my grandma is letting me stay with her until I find a new place. And when my mom finds out, oh, she's going to love this. More material to make fun of me. Aw. And yeah, no trip for me. I have packing and apartment hunting to do instead. Oh, OP, what? No. There's a comment, and they said, why are you embarrassed because you got rid of a harmful ex? OP responds, because after 5 years, my boyfriend threw me out like a piece of trash. That my mother will say, I was right. You aren't capable of holding on to a relationship. You are unlovable. You are just impossible.
My boyfriend said I kept failing his tests, and I'm tired of it.
Your tests are failures.
My 28 female boyfriend, 32 male, and I have been together for almost 2 years. Our relationship has been good up to this point. However, the past 2 months, he's been doing weird things. He'll test me to see what my emotional response will be to different situations. Apparently, I'm failing these tests and not reacting how he thinks I should. By the way, this comes from Throwaway. This is dumb. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, for example, he'll call me to tell me that he's going to his friend's house for a few hours before he comes home. I'll tell him something along the lines of, okay, thanks for letting me know. He thinks this is wrong because it's not emotional enough. He feels like I should be upset that he's not spending that time with me. So he just wants you to be toxic?
Yeah, he just wants you to feel like codependent?
Same thing when he took a trip to visit a friend. I told him to have fun and tell his friend I said hi. He thought I should be upset, crying, asking him not to go.
And then
This
I
is
guarantee
so
you,
weird.
if you did that, he would just be upset about that.
And calling him every few hours while he was gone. He thinks that my incorrect responses are a sign that I don't love him and I'm not invested in the relationship. If this is his idea of investment, I would be very scared.
Yeah, that's not good. That's a problem.
He's started giving me the silent treatment when he's upset about something. I usually let him have his silence for a little bit and hope that he'll just come out and say what's wrong. But that doesn't happen. I have to acknowledge that he's upset and giving me the silent treatment. To break the silence and get the conversation going, I'll say, okay, you're obviously upset about something. Are you going to tell me what it is so we can talk about it and resolve the issue? Every single time his response has been, you're a smart girl, figure it out. Shut up, dude. I hate this guy.
Smart girl would leave.
You're a smart girl, dump him. This response just seems really dumb on multiple levels. It doesn't resolve anything. It essentially cuts off any discussion that could happen, and it's said to antagonize me. I don't play into it, and I just tell him, okay, you're not ready to talk, that's fine. I'm going to continue with what I'm doing and enjoy myself. When you're ready to talk, let me know, and we can resolve this. Then I just continue on with whatever I was doing. He gets upset with these responses because they aren't the correct reactions. According to him, I'm supposed to be upset. Keep asking him what's wrong, asking what I can do to fix the situation. Maybe cry. Who is this guy? He's like, why aren't you crying?
How are you even, how are you questioning if you should stay with this guy or fix this? This is absurd.
What's shocking to me is that OP seems really well adjusted, like understands how to handle conflict, all that really well, and yet is dating this absolute baby.
Maybe she's so good at managing conflict that it's like...
She was like, it was too easy before.
It's not registering how bad this is.
I'm not doing any of that stuff. He thinks that I'm emotionally stunted. Man needs to look in a mirror. And that I need to work on developing the right responses. I've told him that his tests are causing unnecessary strain on our relationship. I've also tried to talk to him about what prompted this change, but he gives me the same line of, you're a smart girl, figure it out. Shut up! Shut up! I hate you! I don't feel like there's anything wrong with how I'm reacting, but the few friends that we have here all agree with him. Your friends need to be dumped as well.
What?
Your friends need to be dumped so quick. Your boyfriend needs to be dumped. Anyone who thinks this is normal is weird.
If your boyfriend is telling you his end goal is that you should be crying because of the way I'm treating you and you're not, that's weird.
Are my emotional reactions wrong? I don't think they are, but would like input from other people on this. How do I approach this to get him to stop testing me? And there are some comments.
Yeah.
But I think there's one really easy way to get him to stop doing this.
Yeah. You break up with him.
Yep, there it is.
It's that easy.
It's so simple. And maybe he'll cry. We'll see. Comment 1 says, oh, for F's sake, shut it down. He sounds like a stunted 12-year-old. This man is in his 30s. He wants you to scream and wail when he goes down the street? He sounds utterly exhausting and childish. Relationships are not supposed to be this way. OP says, I agree completely. This is exhausting. For a minute, I was trying to figure out exactly how he thought I should react, but I can't do that. It's not who I am as a person. To be fair, this is new behavior, but I'm over it. And I'm over this relationship. I just wanted to get input on the situation and find out if there was a way to approach this that would shut down the behavior and maybe salvage the relationship. Reply, my ex put me in a situation that was very similar to yours. They will never be satisfied with how you react. Even if you act exactly how they insist, they'll always find something wrong. Get out before it gets worse. Comment 2 says, this is emotional abuse from him, plain and simple. A quick Google search and it didn't take me long to find an article listing his behavior. Your feelings are valid. Please don't stay with him long enough that he gets you to a point where you think you're being unreasonable. How you feel is how you feel, and no one else can tell you what is reasonable. OP says, very true. I hadn't even considered emotional. I think I've been too focused on the sudden change when he started testing me and trying to figure out what caused it.
Well, that's good. It's like it hasn't even like sunk in. Like you're like, oh, I was just looking at this like a puzzle.
You're just like, I just didn't even know why he was doing it. Hadn't even gotten to the point where it affected me.
Yeah, I wonder if you're just completely unaware of, like, does it does it have the same impact? Because you're just like, no, I don't know. I literally thought of this as a mental, like, this was a brain teaser.
This is a brain teaser. Reply, I'd say by the sounds of this, you're out of the love bombing stage. By any chance, was he always loving and sweet up to this point or something similar? It's unfortunately very common with a to have a period of time where things are picture perfect. Then all of a sudden things start to change negatively. OP says, I wouldn't say he was overly loving and sweet, just kind of what you would expect to see in a normal relationship. He was pretty level-headed about stuff. Previously, he had no issues with me being fine with him hanging out with friends. When we would argue, we would sit down and discuss the issue. The relationship just looked like a normal relationship with two normal people. Then, 2 months ago, he did a complete change. Now, me being laid back and fine with time spent with friends is considered to be not caring. Disagreements have to be dramatic and drawn out. I don't understand what happened, and there is an update. I don't get it either. I think it must be his friends.
The human psyche is a mysterious thing.
Yeah. Update. Thank you to everyone who responded to my original post. I really didn't expect this kind of response. Sorry it took me a bit to get back to all of you, but it was a pleasantly busy night. Really quick, I wanted to address a couple of things people had mentioned or asked about. I was pretty sure that there was nothing wrong with my reactions. However, a sliver of doubt had crept in upon hearing the people in our friend group support his actions. The friend group were his original friends, and I was kind of adopted into the group. Our friends' girlfriends act how he thinks I should be reacting. When he goes out with his friends, their girlfriends are calling and texting them the entire time.
Yeah.
This is also how my boyfriend's previous girlfriend acted.
Okay, well, you were right on the money.
Yep.
It's the friends.
Mm-hmm. As far as I know, he hasn't been watching and listening to anyone. He doesn't have any social media accounts except the Blue app. His tube history is all video game stuff. He's never shown any interest in podcasts. He's been fine the times that I've gone out, but I am an introvert and don't go out very often. Some people have stated that he didn't suddenly change, but he really did. He went out with friends one night and he was fine. The next week when they went out, he was suddenly not fine. Also, I'm single! Nice!
Yay!
I mentioned in some comments that I had already gone to his place to get anything I had left there, and I was waiting for him to get home from work. When he arrived, I gave him his house key back, told him I was done, suggested he needs therapy, and good luck. He was confused and asked, what happened? I took the advice of the comment section and told him that I'm smart and figured it out. Oh, man. Dang. Oh.
Hey, what? Go ahead, take that cold water.
Stone cold response from OP. Woo! It was satisfying to watch his face as he started putting the pieces together. Then the meltdown started. He began panicking and apologizing. I told him I wasn't sure what happened, but the past couple of months have been total garbage, and I'm done. He said he could explain. He told me a couple months ago one of our friends had mentioned that his ex would check on him when they were out, but I don't. Maybe have we thought about the reason that friend said ex? As in he's no longer with that person?
I mean, yeah, do you just want to go be with that ex? You just want to go be with that person?
The friend said it would make him wonder what his girlfriend was up to and if she even wanted him. He said it made him start questioning why I didn't act like the other girlfriends. He decided that he needed to test me to see if I was invested in him and the relationship. He said he was sorry and he wouldn't test me anymore. He just wanted me to stay. I told him that he needs therapy. He allowed a single comment to disturb him enough that he blew up our relationship. Then he got angry. Not violent angry, just frustrated angry. He said that if I continued down this path, I was dangerously close to losing a chance to keep him as a friend. If you keep commenting on my failings in this relationship, I might not even want to be your friend after this.
That's great, champ. I was already planning on not being your friend.
We were not continuing any sort of relationship after this. I told him I'm good with that and left. By the way, I'm good with you guys listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
You made your tests and now you will lie in them.
Yep, exactly.
Weird.
Tough luck, buddy.
Always weird energy to test people, like
So
do secret little
weird.
tests.
Like,
Always a weird vibe.
Why can't, like, if you are in a relationship with someone and you can't just actually, like, be straightforward and tell them how you're feeling, then what's going on? What's the point? OP continues, when I left, I blocked him on everything and called my parents and brother to let them know what happened and to not give him any info if he reached out to them. I went home, changed the locks on my doors, had a couple of friends over, and had a girls' night. My phone has been blowing up with calls and messages from his friends and their girlfriend, but I've just been blocking them as they come in. He came to my house this morning, but I didn't answer. He hung out on my porch for about 30 minutes. When he decided to give up, he left behind my favorite plant, an orchid, and a note. I'm keeping the plant. It's not the plant's fault that he brought it. But the note went straight to the trash. It's amazing how much better you feel after dropping 250 pounds of garbage weight. And that's the end of that story, folks.
There you go. Note in the trash.
Note in the trash. I want to surprise my boyfriend, but he ruined it again.
Again?
I, 27 female, finally caved and bought my boyfriend, 26 male, a PS5 for Christmas. Damn, you got shmoney.
Got crazy Christmas gifts. $500?
Jeez. He's been eyeing the new system for over a year, but never bought it because we're trying to save for a house, and he couldn't justify the cost. I found a decent Black Friday deal, the PS5 and NBA 2K26 bundle for $450. Poof. And thought it would be the perfect surprise. By the way, this comes from Alarming Cry 9092, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And Opie says, while we were at lunch today, he asked how much I'd spent on Christmas gifts so things would be even. I told him I spent a little more than $250, which was a lie, but I honestly don't like the idea of Christmas being treated like a spending competition. It shouldn't be about the price tag. He kept pushing about whether I knew what he was getting me. I told him I only knew one thing, because he basically told me, but I didn't want to know the rest. In the car, he kept going, insisting he needed to get me more because I spent too much. I asked what he meant, and he just said, laughing, I know you're a horrible liar. It rubbed me the wrong way, so I asked him to explain. He looked at me and said, which PS5 game do you want me to go buy you? And then laughed like it was a joke. I laughed too because I was shocked, but I tried to play it off by saying he was being delusional. And I'd never spent that much. He kept insisting I was a great liar. This isn't the first time he's done something like this. Last year, he ruined the surprise of an expensive pair of shoes I bought him. He snoops around the house looking for hiding spots, shakes packages, pushes and pushes until I'm exhausted and finally tell him. For his birthday, we planned for a friend to fly in as a surprise. He checked their Snapchat location and basically spoiled his own surprise. Even this year, I got him a hat while he was at work. He texted me nonstop asking what I bought until I finally caved because I was tired of the interrogation. I'm honestly just tired. I put money, effort, and genuine thought into making holidays and birthdays special for him, and he acts like a spoiled kid who has to ruin his own surprise every single time. He claims I also always find out my gifts, but 90% of the time it's because he tells me or drops hints because he gets too excited. Why can't he just leave things alone and let gifts be surprises? And at this point, should I cancel and sell the PS5 or just give it to him anyway?
Well,
I don't know, that seems a little...
I would still give it to him.
Relevant comment says, commenter 1, yes, it's petty. Why insist on a surprise gift when you know you can't effectively hide things? And he clearly doesn't want to wait to be surprised. I suggest just telling him from now on that you're getting him blank for Christmas, birthday, anniversary, and stop the process that will inevitably frustrate you. That's what I think. It's either break up because you're not compatible, or just stop, trying to surprise him.
How hard of this is the line for you?
Yeah. OP says, fair. It just sucks to be excited about getting him something I know he wants and would never buy himself. Comment 2 says, do you hate him? Yeah, it's annoying that he ruined it, but some people are just like this and don't want or need to be surprised. If you want him to surprise you, I think it's fair to express that and expect him to actually keep his trap shut. But if he doesn't mind not being surprised, I don't think it's fair to impart your desire for surprises onto him. OP says, I don't hate him. I just feel like it's so childish to purposely ruin surprises just for the sake of being clever enough to figure it out. It just feels very Veruca Salt to me. I don't know. I feel like you don't like your boyfriend.
No, I kind of understand that reasoning, to be honest.
I just feel like whether it's fair or not, I feel like she just doesn't like him.
It's only this thing, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's also like, why does he have to ruin
like
it?
him.
Why does he have to be the one to like thwart her great plans?
I don't know.
Maybe he hates her.
Maybe you just aren't compatible. Can OP send the order to a family member's house so her boyfriend doesn't find out? OP says I literally shipped it to my mom's house so he wouldn't find it. And update 2 days later. But do you have any other thoughts?
No, I am truly just on the thing of like, either you guys need to be able to respect how the other person wants to receive gifts, or you guys need to break up because you're going to be annoyed at every single gift-giving holiday.
Yes.
Which comes often enough throughout the year that it's a problem.
Agreed. Completely. But there is an update. Wow, this blew up a lot more than I expected. I read through the comments, and while some were helpful, a lot of people went straight to, he's stalking you! He's monitoring your devices! What? Whoa.
Because also, one more comment to throw in, something that my head immediately goes to is if they were to stay together, and they were to want and have kids together, is he going to do this to the kids, or force the kids to tell him what they got? Or is he actually capable of doing this, and he is just being like, I figured out what she did.
Yeah, it's a good question. And also, I would wonder how his family did gifts, too.
Right, because he probably just did this as a child,
Yeah.
so he still does it.
I talked to my boyfriend about everything. I told him I'm tired of putting so much energy into gifts just for the surprise to be ruined every time. I explained that it takes the fun out of it for me and makes the whole holiday feel like a chore instead of something sweet. He told me he does have his suspicions, but he genuinely didn't know what I bought. He doesn't have access to my emails, texts, bank accounts, browser history, and anything like that. And he's not the type to even try. He's not sneaky or controlling. He's just goofy and playful and gets way too into figuring things out because he likes the thrill of the guessing game.
Get him some puzzles for Christmas.
I just think he really likes, I think part of the fun of the gift is that he gets to try and figure it out.
That's what I'm like. For him, I think that is a thing. So I'm not saying that he's like doing anything wrong. I'm just saying that they need like a compromise.
Exactly.
Here.
No, I completely agree. I think he wants that. You don't want that for yourself. So yeah,
it's probably fully just how they were raised. She was probably
so.
In like a don't go in that room.
Yeah, don't
and she probably
open
didn't
it before Christmas.
Yeah.
He thought I liked that back and forth too because we usually end up laughing and telling each other our gifts anyway, especially when they're smaller or obvious. For the hat, he said he only put 2 and 2 together because he saw the store bag while we were on FaceTime while I was at the outlet mall. As for the PS5, my mom had been talking nonstop about the PS5 being on sale for Black Friday, and he said he genuinely just took a random guess. He only doubled down because I reacted and pushed back, so he assumed he just got lucky. By the way, you'd be lucky if you wanted to listen to full episodes with stories just like this because you can find them on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio. All you gotta do is search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to the story. It feels like they're having a good conversation.
Yeah, it feels like problems could be solved.
I really didn't think this was that much of an issue, and it's proving to not be that much of an issue.
I figured it would either be an easy conversation
Yeah.
or literally they're going to break up over this.
So, no, he's not spying on me. He just genuinely needs to chill with a gift guessing habit. I've decided I'm not returning the PS5. I'm still not going to give it to him. I might get a little sneaky and not put it under the tree, or maybe give it to him later in the day at his mom's house, just for the extra surprise factor. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe I was just pissed in the moment, but the advice and the funny comments helped me cool down and laugh about it. Thanks, everyone. Excellent work.
I could totally see, though, how, like, if that's something that annoys you and you think that they're doing it just to, like, get your go, that you do just get so annoyed to this point of being like, you ruin it! And then he's like, what do you mean?
Christmas. And he's like,
What are you talking about?
I thought we were just having fun. You're like, no!
She's like, I'm so over it.
This is all I wanted to do is surprise you. My boyfriend and I have mismatched libido, and it's making me guilty.
Oh, snap.
I'm 20 female. My boyfriend is 21 male. We've been together a bit over a year, and our relationship is genuinely really good. We're loving, kind to each other, communicate a lot, live together, and I truly find him incredibly attractive. This is specifically about our spicy sleep life, because we keep having the same conversation, and I feel stuck and confused. When we first got together, I was very spicy, sleepily forward. I found and still find him insanely attractive, and I've always been loud and proud about that. I'm very affectionate naturally, touching him, complimenting him, flirting, etc. I also make a big effort to show affection in the way he's told me he likes. We met at uni and basically lived together for 6 months, separate rooms technically, but practically always together. I worked from home at the time, so we were around each other a lot, and our spicy sleep life was very frequent and spontaneous. A few months in, I went on birth control. It completely tanked my libido. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
And really awful. Like, I lost probably 70% of my interest in spicy sleep. That's so scary.
Holy moly.
It became a big issue. He felt undesired and hurt, and I honestly understood why. I went off of it after a month or two because it was damaging our relationship, but since then, things haven't fully gone back to how they were. We've done long distance briefly, like a month, had an amazing holiday together, and now live together again while both working 9-to-5 jobs for our placement year. We still have regular spicy sleep, but we keep circling back to the same issue. Last night kind of summed it up. He said, I'm spicy. And I replied something like, okay, would you mind if we just kiss and cuddle instead? I'm not really feeling it right now. He said, okay, but then immediately said he was tired and went to bed, which is something he does when he's upset but doesn't want to talk yet. For context, he's quite reserved and introverted. I'm much more extroverted. When something's bothering him, he usually goes quiet and needs time before talking. This time, it was different. I had just been to the corner shop, and the worker there had said something to me that made me feel self-conscious and uncomfortable, literally 20 minutes before. I told him this at the time and told him as well that I wasn't feeling it because of that, but he still reacted the same way. Later, he explained that although we still have spicy sleep and he's okay with me initiating most of the time, he feels like when he initiates, he gets turned down more often. He said that when I initiate, I often do it by making a request. When he initiates, he feels like he can't make those requests or express his desire in the same way without being rejected. I completely understood that and apologized. I genuinely didn't know I was doing that. Where I'm stuck is this. I don't know what the right response is when he initiates and I'm not in the mood. If I say no, it hits his self-confidence really hard and makes him feel undesired. If I say yes when I'm not actually feeling it, we both agree that we'd rather I be enthusiastic and present, not forcing myself. But isn't saying yes when I don't want to also bad? We're going to pause there. There's more to the story, more information that we'll learn. But do you have any thoughts so far
Yeah.
for OP?
I think that what I'm first thinking about as I'm hearing all of it is there's this principle in psychology called learned helplessness.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the nature of that is the more that we try a thing and then fail, the more likely we are to stop trying because we just don't want to keep failing.
Yeah.
So I imagine when her libido changed because of the birth control,
Yeah.
he probably got nervous and didn't know how to, initiate anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how much of that plays a role, but she's so right. She shouldn't have to say yes because she doesn't want to disappoint him.
I totally understand that feeling of kind of rejection. A month isn't that long.
Yeah.
I do think maybe a lot of this, at least in my eyes, might be colored by the fact that they're in their 20s.
Yeah.
A lot of youth and inexperience.
Sure. Yep.
But OP continues. By the way, this comes from Hyings, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Kahara.
And I'm Carly, and today we have a very special guest, Kahara McKinney, a therapist who works with individuals, couples, and families to improve communication, rebuild intimacy, and strengthen their relationships. She has also helped adolescents and adults heal from trauma, guiding them toward healthier, more secure connections in the future. Through both therapy and published writing on relationship challenges, she's passionate about helping people embrace their unique stories and build more meaningful, fulfilling lives together. And thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for having me.
And Kahara is going to help us read some of these stories.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Get into it. So OP says, this is complicated by the fact that my previous relationship was harmful. With my current boyfriend, learning to say no and listen to my body felt like progress and healing. So now I feel really confused and almost guilty. Like I learned to assert boundaries, but now those boundaries are hurting him. I also keep spiraling into thoughts like, does this mean I'm not spicily attracted to him? Even though I know I am. I tell him constantly how attractive he is. I love touching him. I'm very affectionate, and emotionally, I feel very connected to him. He's also a genuinely great partner. Romantic, thoughtful, brings me flowers, does the lion's share of chores, very loving. So the usual advice of maybe he's not doing enough doesn't really apply. Some extra factors that might matter. I have ADHD. When I'm off my medication, I'm more carefree and more likely to be spontaneous, spicily. When I've taken my meds and come home from work, my brain feels overstimulated and exhausted. I want to focus on something calming or engaging like gaming, drawing, or watching something together. I kind of have to take my medication most days though, because otherwise it's hard to get out of bed and do anything really. Hygiene, self-care, chores. I'm usually too tired to initiate right before bed. I genuinely find him very schmexy. I even told him he can touch me whenever because I like it, but he doesn't do that much. Edit, I feel like I should clarify. He's not consistently, there's a lot of stuff going on here, ready to go for 2 hours. It's hard for us to change positions though, as he will go not ready 2 or 3 times.
Wait, it's 2 hours worth of activity
I
happening?
guess so.
Wow.
That's, yeah.
20-something stuff going on.
They've got some stamina.
Yeah.
I'll give him some, I don't know how to read this part. I will use my mouth and we'll do something else, but it takes a lot to get him to finish, usually me talking to him. One thing that really hurt and surprised me, he told me that when he initiates, especially over text, and I respond affectionately but not spicily, he sometimes feels like he's spicy pestering me. That broke my heart. I never want him to feel that way, especially as my boyfriend. When I do turn him down, I'm never cold. I always hug him, reassure him, and tell him I love him. More context, I occasionally watch porn, which you guessed that, yeah. When he's at work, usually Thursday and Friday when I'm off. Sometimes when he comes home after that, I'm very turned on and we have spicy sleep. I've also read some of those TikTok smutty books that I hate, but also have helped me get into the mood. But I feel weird and guilty about it not being organic, and I don't really tell him about it. What are your thoughts? Do you have any more thoughts about that?
There's a whole lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually wonder if they have a language to talk about what's happening. Like, how are they talking about it?
Yeah.
It sounds like they have pretty good communication, which is a good thing.
Yeah, and surprising for how young they are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good thing. But I would actually want to know what he would want to hear from her when she's not in the mood in a way that doesn't make him feel shut down.
Yeah.
That I'm curious about what he would say would be helpful.
I don't think he watches corn, but I wouldn't mind if he did. I want to say we're also a super what's the word that we can
Oh my god, I forget what we used.
We're into a lot of different desires. Not sure how much detail is appropriate. He likes when I'm in control most, and so do I. But lately, the best way to get me turned on is when he takes control. It just sounds like, yeah, we're really at kind of an imbalance in your desires here. Like you both want opposite things.
Yeah.
I've also told him that sometimes I go through stretches, days, a week, maybe longer, where I'm just not interested in it at all. Not corn, not doing stuff on my own, nothing.
Yeah.
To me, that feels like a lack of interest in spicy sleep, not in him. But I don't think it feels that way to him. In my head, I want him to work on not taking rejection for spicy sleep as such a huge blow to his self-worth. Because it's frustrating that I can show him love constantly in every other way, but one no seems to outweigh all of that. I know that's a simplified and probably selfish way to think, though. At the same time, I do want to work on meeting him halfway, figuring out how to get in the mood more often, or how he can initiate in a way that works better for me. Him just saying, I'm spicy, or texting me explicit stuff randomly during the workday, if I'm not already a little turned on, doesn't really do it for me. But I don't know how to explain that without making him feel rejected again. Kisses and other stuff can turn me on, but I think it's that fear with him again of being rejected. He's just terrified to be what he sees as vulnerable, I think. And by the way, I'm going to be vulnerable with you guys and tell you that I really want you to listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to the story. Do you have any final thoughts?
As far as the story is concerned?
Yes.
I think I might say something that people in their 20s hate to schedule this. People hate that all the time because they think that it's not organic. They think it's not spontaneous. Therefore, it's not sexy.
Yeah.
But in this case, that might actually help them get more comfortable.
Because she's expecting it.
Yeah, she's expecting it so she can figure out how to, get ready. And he can expect a yes. So he will be able to manage some of the rejection that he feels. But the thing that's coming up for me that I know that everybody is going to hate is schedule it.
I've not heard that, but it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like it makes a lot of sense in this context.
Yeah.
Because she said, like, when I do these certain things, that helps. And
Yeah.
so she had time in advance.
She could do the things.
That's a great response.
Hopefully she thinks so.
And OP continues, I've Googled this endlessly and keep seeing advice that men eventually stop asking after enough rejection and build resentment, or that women should just say yes more, and that honestly scares me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even get frustrated, though, and wonder why spicy sleep is such a need for men. Isn't every other single form of intimacy enough? But I get brought back down to earth when remembering that if he was doing the same thing to me, I would probably feel quite hurt. I'm very open to accountability here. If I'm handling this badly, I want to know. I'm just worried, confused, and tired of having the same emotional conversation without actually fixing anything. If you need more info, I'm happy to answer. And if I suck, please tell me. I can take it. And that's the end of the story. But I think that was excellent advice.
She doesn't suck. He doesn't suck either.
No, they're just like
They're
young.
just trying to figure it out.
I am very impressed with how you've done so far.
Yeah.
But we've got another story coming up, and actually, before we get into the next story, we have some Q&A.
Yeah.
All right. So our first question here is, what are the most common relationship attachment styles?
Well, to simplify it, I think I would say the three are anxious, avoidant, and secure. The anxious attacher is the person who typically is scared of abandonment. So they can be very disregarding of their needs in order to preserve the relationship. There is the avoidant folks who get scared at any kind of intensity, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
So they can push people away or keep people at a distance. And then the secure ones just really like connecting and acknowledging their own needs and acknowledging the needs of the partner. They're not scared to communicate it because they might lose the person. They also aren't scared to talk about it because they're scared of conflict. So the ideal is the securely attached person. And that's what we all aspire to be. But of course, trauma and life and parents play a role.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The next question is, how can you identify what style of attachment you have?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say if you find yourself terrified of losing your partner, or you get a lot of anxiety at the possibility of it, you feel a bit insecure and are constantly doing things to negotiate your own needs, that probably is an anxious style. What I hear from people a lot who are avoidant actually is, I don't feel anything. So if you find yourself being someone who doesn't easily connect to your emotions, likes to keep people at a distance, doesn't really like to commit, that tends to be avoidant. And then the securely attached person usually is able to kind of engage in relationships in a healthy way and connect and have long-lasting relationships if they work and know what they don't like and articulate that and have good boundaries and all the things. So those are some easy to spot ways to know. But avoidants are typically difficult to understand when they're avoidant because they don't feel. They're not usually the ones that have the problem.
Yeah.
Unless their partner wants a lot more connection from them and they're freaking out. That's usually the cue. But they usually are the ones that are just going with the flow and feeling pressured more than they are pressuring.
Or the next question we have is, what is your favorite success story you have about a couple or one that you can share?
Let me think about that. I actually have a couple. They're so cute. They came for premarital counseling and they just got married not that long ago. I was invited to the wedding, so that made me so happy.
So
but they were so committed to each other. I always am really inspired by them because they just want to make each other happy. And when they talk in therapy, they're very much like, "What do you think, babe? No, what do you think?" And I'm like, "Aw." So that's very cute. That's a success story for sure.
Would you recommend prior to getting married doing like premarital counseling?
I think
for what reason?
Everybody should do it because there's so many things, and I would cuss, but I'm not gonna. There's so many things that people have to talk about before they get into a marriage that they don't talk about until they are married, like finances, like personal values, like what they want for their futures long term, like in-laws. I think everybody aspires to marriage but don't know how much work it requires.
Sure.
So I just feel like it's a good way to kind of get things out in the open. And I don't mind being the bad guy as a therapist. I always say blame me. It's totally okay.
Yeah.
And I think everybody should do it.
I've never really like thought about that, but that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I have a follow-up for that. When do you typically suggest that? Like, is this like right after they get engaged or closer to the wedding?
I think that the problem is that people usually come to couples counseling when things are on the rocks. Yeah. And most of the time, because of that, they tend not to last because they knew that it was time for it to be called quits, but then they don't do that. So I usually recommend after the engagement, of course. That's always a good idea because you have a definitive time frame for when you're going to get married. But if before that, you're just trying to make sure that you're on the same page and you want to have some of those harder conversations. I have single people come to me all the time like, when's a good time for me to talk to my partner about this? And I'm like, now, yesterday, So I like I said, I think that it's never too late to have those conversations.
Yeah.
But premarital counseling definitely after the engagement.
I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Another follow-up. When they came in, did they have a lot of their own questions or how did you guide?
Both. So with the couple that I'm talking about in particular that just got married, they actually came in because they were trying to, they wanted to make sure they did things right, but they knew that there were some sticking points already that they wanted to discuss. But I typically will also lead the conversations after the immediate crisis abates. We'll lead the conversations to talk about the other harder things that they don't know are coming. Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
To know.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet, but I'll follow up with you again.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that was actually our final question. So we can get into the next story. My girlfriend runs when I chase her, then comes back when I'm done.
What?
Hey everyone, I'm 22 male, completely lost right now, and could really use some outside perspective. I've been with my girlfriend, 21 female, for 3.5 years, and honestly, it's been a roller coaster from heck.
Oh.
We've broken up and gotten back together probably 6 or 7 times now.
Leave her.
What?
Leave her.
Yeah, that's not a healthy relationship.
Oh my God.
And I'm starting to realize we have this classic anxious avoidant attachment thing going on that's destroying us both. By the way, this comes from Nobody at All 321. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And OP says, the backstory. My girlfriend is honestly intimidating.
Oh.
She's really pretty, smart, but also has this avoidant way of dealing with emotions that makes me feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I'm definitely the anxious type. Early in our relationship, I was so scared of losing her that I started hiding my emotions whenever I was upset or angry. I thought if she saw me get mad or express negative feelings, she'd leave. So I just didn't. I'd bottle everything up and try to be this perfect, calm boyfriend. But here's where it gets effed up. Because I never showed my real emotions, she started taking me for granted, like really badly. Silent treatments, not putting effort into the relationship, treating our problems like they didn't matter. Classic avoidant behavior.
Yeah.
And when I finally couldn't hold it in anymore and started showing my actual feelings around the 2.5-year mark, she freaked out and said I was different and changed. The worst part was feeling constantly disrespected and like nothing I did mattered. She guided me like, if this happens, I feel this way. But then I'd still assume wrong and fail every time. I feel like she expected me to read her mind, and when I couldn't, it was like all my efforts were invisible to her. The recent mess. So we broke up again about a month ago. Just stay broken up.
Yeah.
And this time I was done. Like completely exhausted from this cycle. I told myself I wasn't going back. I even blocked our mutual friends. That's how serious I was about moving on. Here's where it gets really complicated. There was this girl that my girlfriend had initially suspected liked me. I told my girlfriend not to worry about her because I genuinely didn't think it was the case. Turns out I was wrong.
Oh no.
After our breakup, this same girl, the one I told my girlfriend not to worry about, was there for emotional support when I was at my lowest. After 10 days of being broken up and me being completely committed to moving on, I slept with her. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't about lust. Honestly, I think I did it because I knew my girlfriend is conservative and would never take back a guy who slept with someone else. So,
Yeah.
you were just doing it so that there was no way that you could go back to her?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Like, if I do this, she won't take me back. And so even if I went and tried to win her back, she wouldn't take me.
And he told her.
No, I don't think he's told her yet. At least
Oh.
we haven't found that out.
Interesting.
I was so emotionally exhausted from feeling disrespected that I wanted to burn the bridge completely. But immediately after, I regretted everything. I realized I loved my girlfriend more than anything, and I've just made the stupidest decision of my life. Did you though? What are your thoughts
Exactly.
there after that? Because we've gotten some back and forth here.
Yeah, I feel like he knows that he doesn't like this dynamic and he's trying to figure a way out.
But every time he does take a step out, gaslights himself into thinking, oh, wait, no, I do need her.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
is that like in the lines of anxious attachment?
Yes, actually. He has pretty good verbiage too.
Yeah.
Seems like he knows his stuff. Yeah.
Just not how to quite identify how to fix it.
Exactly.
I was stuck in heck because of my own actions. I used to be a huge critic of cheating, and I called this cheating because deep down I knew she was probably expecting us to patch up again like we always do, but I was too broken down to care at the time. Then she calls wanting to get back together. I felt like absolute crap and told her what had happened. She was devastated, especially because it was the girl she'd suspected. But here's the thing. She actually forgave me after we both had complete breakdown.
Oh, snap.
She's literally the only person who has ever truly understood me and taken care of me like that.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. OP is really in deep here.
Yeah.
We got back together and she promised things would be different. But guess what? Within a few weeks, same old pattern started again. When I'd bring up issues, she'd go silent instead of talking it through. Later, she admitted that in her mind, she was thinking, I forgave you for the biggest relationship sin, and you're getting irritated by these small things?
Oh.
It feels like she also considers it cheating, which is interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because they weren't together.
Yeah.
Which, maybe not like the best move to get with someone who your ex thought you were going to get with, but not cheating.
Yeah.
She said she knew it was evil thinking, but that's what was going through her head, and it made her even more angry with me. So I broke it off again, sent her a really harsh email where I basically tore her apart, which I regret, and blocked her. Where we are now, we're broken up again, but she's saying, maybe I'll come back, maybe not, which is keeping me in this awful limbo. She's been obsessively checking the other girl's Instagram and photos, even though that girl is honestly incomparable to her in every way. Here's what's messing with my head. And do you have any thoughts before we get into what OP's thinking
I
about?
feel like she has too much power.
I agree.
Yeah. How's she deciding if they're going to get back together when
Yeah.
he's not getting fulfilled.
No, it feels like that anxious avoidant thing that you're talking
Yeah.
about, of like literally like fish line, pulling him back, reeling him in every time.
Exactly. Yeah. And in therapy, we call it the pursuer distancer, actually. There's one person that's pursuing, and the more you pursue, the more the other person distances. So you never quite can catch the person.
And there's the title, The Running Away.
Ah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then coming back.
Exactly.
Here's what's messing with my head. When we're good together, we're like the perfect couple. No adjustments needed, just pure love and understanding. But when we fight, we both turn into these ugly versions of ourselves that we don't even recognize. The other girl was there for emotional support, but she's nothing compared to my girlfriend, who is currently his ex. That's interesting verbiage.
That's a really good catch. Yeah.
Continue calling her girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yet my girlfriend keeps torturing herself by stalking this girl's social media. And I keep questioning whether what I did was actually cheating since we were broken up. Or if I'm right to call it that because I knew she'd expect us to get back together eventually. I feel like this anxious avoidant dynamic has completely destroyed both of us. I chase, she runs, she comes back, I'm resentful. We bring out the worst in each other. But I also don't know how to fully let go because when it's good, it's incredible. And she truly is the person who understands me the most. And I would understand if you listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there's a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts for OP? It just seems like you can't get out of this.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So my first thought is it is very classic avoidant, anxious, in that the anxious person typically will fantasize about the relationship that they're in. So they have all these great things to say about the other person.
Yeah.
That's not real, So there's a lot of fantasy about the relationship. The avoidant fantasizes about who else is out there that might be better than who they're with. So that's exactly what's happening, is that he's fantasizing and saying that the relationship is so great, but how?
Yeah.
How can it be great?
You've only told us the bad parts.
Exactly. And then there's this other thing, I very often use this analogy in my work with folks, that there is this protect, reject component of attachment style. Avoidant tends to protect themselves and reject their partner, and the anxious tends to protect the relationship and reject themselves. So it sounds exactly like what he's doing. He almost has rejected himself and his needs and is trying to make the relationship work at all costs, but she sounds like she's...
Yeah, the cost is himself.
Yes, exactly.
And it's really sad.
Yeah, it's very sad.
I don't think you've told us anything good about your relationship, OP.
Except for how amazing it is when she's not running.
Yeah.
I guess one of my questions before we get into the last part of this story is, have you ever worked with a couple that broke up once, multiple times, and they succeeded in effectively getting their relationship back? Because I feel like we only read whenever we read stories about people who have broken up multiple times, my thought process is that you should stay broken up.
Yes, I don't think that I have any success story, unfortunately, like that, where they break up a lot of times and then they finally commit to each other, unless there is a huge commitment to change on both people's parts, because usually there is that pursuer distancer dynamic that's happening and at play. And both people in that case need to figure out how to adapt in a new way.
Maybe we should move on.
Yeah.
My questions. How can I process the guilt and regret I'm feeling about sleeping with someone during our breakup? And how might this affect rebuilding trust? How do I break this cycle of breaking up and getting back together? Am I the toxic one here? Am I the problem? I want to fix it because we wanted to fix it so bad. We both can't imagine each other with someone else. I know we could have been fixing it earlier, but also I know I need to work on myself. The hiding emotions thing, the fear of confrontation, all of it.
Yep.
But right now, I'm just so confused and hurt. Anyone been through something similar? How did you finally break free? And that's the end of the story.
Ooh.
And if you have any answers to those questions or thoughts about those questions,
I think that the answer to the question of, is he the problem? I would say that he's part of the problem for sure, because he is thinking very highly of a relationship that is not very high.
Yes.
So he has it right when he's saying that he has to figure this all out. But also, I think that the solution is, like we're saying, stay broken up. And that looks like disengaging. I think in this world where we are constantly connected and texting and social media, you're seeing them all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just not biologically natural to see a person that you don't want to be in a relationship with all the time still.
Yeah.
So unfollow, block.
Yeah, that was the interesting thing to me because he said he blocked all their mutual friends, either blocked her and unblocked her to message her again to restart the relationship that one time. So, is there a more effective way we can cut off this communication?
Sleeping with the other girl?
Yeah.
I
Honestly, yeah.
Isn't
maybe
that toxic and awful?
I mean, it's like, the age-old adage of to get over someone, to get under someone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
At least in this case. Maybe not the best advice for a lot of people, but in this case, maybe we need something.
And also, too, I don't want to be toxic therapist. I think that the truth is he has to really see the truth about her because he's so stuck in this fantasy of who this person is that it's not letting him get over her.
Yeah.
So if he can really be objective and have his friends remind him of how terrible she is and why he's breaking up with her all the time, and if he can have a clear picture, that will really do a lot to keep him moving forward.
I am wondering, my last thought, if he blocked his mutual friends, did he get back those friendships?
Oh, that's a good question.
And how are the rest of his friendships? Does he have any outside of her?
That's a great question. Yeah.
Wondering.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Yeah. Interesting.